Hi, everyone. Tony from Hack the Movies here, and Judge Dredd is turning 30. Jesus Christ, it's getting older. We're going to go back and look at the 1995 film and figure out, did this movie try to do too much? Today on Hack the Movies.
Tapes, we're talking about tapes.
Hello, Dick. How are you?
Great.
It's great to finally...
Can I talk like Dredd for the whole movie
You
review?
can if you want, yes.
Okay, creep.
It's so great to finally have you on the show. I had to fly across the country to do it.
Yeah.
This is like when Howard Stern made America's Got Talent come to him.
Yeah.
Remove the whole show.
Happy to be here, creep.
I wish we all had the helmets. That
Yeah.
would have been fun.
Vito, welcome back.
Oh, yeah. It's been a while since my last Hack the Movies appearance.
Yes, and this is coming out months from now. I
Yeah.
assume Superkiller's out. I assume Superkiller's out, and it's a great success.
And we're reviewing Evangelion Part 2 is what I've been
No,
told.
we will
so
never
my
talk
notes
about
are
Evangelion
here.
ever again.
Yeah,
ever.
good.
Talking about
Ever.
Judge Dredd.
Or it's 10 years, ISO cubes, creep. Creep.
Yeah, so we're talking about the 95 Judge Dredd movie. I
Starring
assume
Sylvester Stallone.
starring Sylvester
What a great
Stallone.
movie.
And,
Maybe probably the best. What came out that year? Did Schindler's List come out that year?
No,
If
that
it
came
did,
out in
Judge Dredd
93.
was the best movie. Judge Dredd was the best movie in 3 years. What a fantastic
So,
film.
You're out of the three of us. You're probably the biggest Judge Dredd fan, I think.
Probably
right?
in the whole world.
Probably in the
Yeah.
whole world.
You
I
have-
saw
you
that
have brought
Fatties
up
cover, and
Judge
I'm like,
Dredd on, yeah. Which cover?
where Judge Dredd stops the fatties from rioting. They're
Yeah.
protesting because they're not getting enough food rations to be, because there's competitive eating in the future. Everything's outlawed,
Yeah.
all drugs and everything.
Yeah.
So the only thing that they have to get off is to just consume as much as possible.
Yeah.
And they're eating through their rations.
They kind of bring that up in this movie where they have the recycled food.
We see a fatty in the
Good for them, and
2012
it's
movie.
okay for you.
Yeah.
That
It's
line
good for them, and it's
was
okay for
the
you.
closest any Dredd has gotten to actually being the Dredd comic in the film.
It's funny you say that because the creator of Judge Dredd really doesn't like this movie.
Yeah.
He's like, this is not Judge Dredd. And the funny
It's
thing
not an
is,
action film, guys.
yeah,
He's-
the funny thing is, he's like, Stallone was perfect for the part, and
Yeah.
he was terrible. The creator actually worked on the story for the next film. So did you read the comics before the movie? Because I feel like this is a lot of Americans.
I was so
exposure.
young, I might have not even known about it until it came out, and then I was like, "Oh, I love Stallone. I love,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what a lot of people
He's
did.
funny."
Yeah.
And then I probably got into it after that. 'Cause it was like 93. You're saying?
95.
95?
We were trying to
Yeah.
figure out if this was post Demolition Man.
It is
or not.
post Demolition
Yeah.
Man.
So
Yeah.
after Demolition Man, which was the Demolition Man was became like a cult hit. I don't think that was Demolition Man.
No, it
do
was
good?
huge at the time. Well,
Yeah.
I
for
remember
us,
it
it
had
was
like
awesome.
it had like huge marketing. So I don't remember how it was received.
It was huge initially, and then it became like a cult thing
Yeah.
afterwards.
yeah.
So after
Uh,
Demolition Man, we were saying this was kind of like, cool, more Demolition Man. It's Stallone doing future
Demolition Man
stuff.
was closer to Judge Dredd the comic.
Yeah,
than
it
was.
Judge Dredd his movie.
And it had Stallone.
Like-
That was the weird thing.
Yeah,
so
he already
took
did it.
It took him a really long time to get Judge Dredd off the ground. They wanted to do it in the 80s, and then
Really?
RoboCop used a lot of Judge Dredd shit, and like
Also closer to Judge
so
Dredd.
a bunch of movie studios were like, this is too close to RoboCop. Actually, early RoboCop designs, he has a helmet that looks like Judge Dredd.
Oh, I
and
didn't know that.
And I'm sure someone went, yeah, we gotta change that. That's very clearly
You got to
Judge
get that
Dredd.
helmet off.
Why would too close to be RoboCop be a problem? RoboCop was big. You can't rip.
Well,
on
it was just like
whatever.
they just thought it would be too similar.
These
so
days they go just make the same movie or that somebody else made.
Yeah.
They do that all the
Yeah,
time.
so I imagine you didn't know what Judge Dredd was before this movie. When did you
No.
see this? You saw it in the theater, I bet.
No,
I
I
think
didn't
I saw
even-
it twice in the theater. I saw it with my dad.
On the same day. You just went from
Yeah,
one thing-
and then I saw it with my mom. I was like, I don't want to mix you guys up here.
I definitely saw it a few years after it came out. I don't remember if I rented it or what, but
Yeah.
it didn't stick. That was one thing about it is that it didn't really stick with me because as I was watching it again, I'm like, there's really like no memorable scenes where you go,
What the
oh,
hell are you talking
there are
about?
so
From
many
Judge
memorable
Dredd?
scenes.
The ABC robot comes
Yeah.
online, the Angel Gang eating all that
That's-
food in the trash and pretending you're not in the trash. It's like, that's me, man. This guy speaks to me.
Demolition Man had more memorable stuff for me. Than,
It felt like it's kind of like the two are mixed
Yeah.
up in my mind.
that's the problem, yeah. And I keep that's why I almost as I'm watching Dredd, I'm like, oh well, this is great because it's Demolition Man.
You're like,
Then I
where's the
remember-
three seashells?
Yeah, where are the seashells? where Sandra Bullock.
So I was 5 when this came out, but
I just want to talk about the comic now. Now I'm remembering all the great things
Okay,
about
I'll
the
talk
comic.
about the comics. So yeah, I remember seeing advertisements for this as a kid and thinking it was like the coolest thing ever. I didn't end up seeing it in the theater. You know, that was the Batman Forever year, okay? I was preoccupied with Batman Forever and Casper, but I did catch it on video years later.
Casper?
Classic.
Yeah,
You Casper head?
1995 I was.
Was Beethoven coming out in 95?
No, I think that was earlier.
Was it? Maybe Beethoven's second.
With Charles
95.
Grodin?
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, I really enjoyed Judge Dredd. I've always had I always knew it wasn't great. I'm like, okay, this is kind of a dumb movie, but I'm really enjoying it. It is a good time.
I don't hate it. Yeah, it's again for me. I'm just like nothing here like sticks. Where I'm like, I can't wait to watch that scene again.
What do you mean when he in yours if you can get the damn thing to work?
Well,
Come on, the bike, the law master was the law giver. What's the
master,
bicycle
the law
called?
master.
The law bike.
I like what was the bicycle called?
Future bicycle.
Future bicycle.
What's the gun called?
The lawgiver.
Lawgiver and the law
Lawgiver.
master's
Yeah.
writing on it.
Yeah.
That's
Um.
too much law.
So
almost
I
said.
eventually years later I did get into like the comics. I have the Judge Death book.
Yeah.
You have Judge Dredd, the Triple X Files. Have you heard of this one?
What?
No.
It's a collection of all Judge Dredd stories where he deals with sex crimes.
Oh.
And the cover is like a silhouette of like a hot lady, but the face is Judge Dredd. It's like the funniest goddamn
That's
cover.
awesome.
And then I got Judge Dredd versus Alien and Predator, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
But no, you're right. The comics are like very satirical, very like dark humor.
They kind of bounce around.
Yes.
There's really serious ones.
Yeah.
And then there's
like the Judge Minty one where he's all
Yeah.
like depressed about being a judge.
I like the font. I like the satire ones,
Yeah.
and the movies never get the satire ones. The movies are like making a fascist movie. I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't think.
See, that's the thing. Like the satire stuff is like what would make this work.
Paul Verhoeven probably should have directed
Right.
this. He probably would have, because he did RoboCop and Starship Troopers.
Well, that's
He
like
probably
why
would've got it right.
Demolition
Or like
Man-
Super Troopers
Yeah.
guys should have done it.
Like in Demolition Man, when I hate to keep bringing it up, but you know the guy's swearing and he keeps spitting out tickets. You're like,
Yeah.
well, that's fucking hilarious. But there's not
Yeah.
like that. You need that satire in
Instead, they
Judge
got
Dredd, but it
instead
takes
they got
itself a little too seriously.
They got Danny Cannon to direct this, and he directed before this a Bjork music video. Perfect guy for the job.
Well, I
he
do
has
like Bjork.
he has
so.
since gone on to produce all those weird Batman spin-off shows that don't have Batman in it. So Gotham, and did you know they made an Alfred show recently?
I did know they made an Alfred
Where he's
show.
a butler.
It's the origin of
No,
Alfred.
it's when he was in like the army, right? Or like he was like a spy.
It had
or
3
something.
seasons.
I
I'm
don't
like the
know.
biggest bat guy in the world. I'm like, I didn't even know that fucking existed.
I'd rather see the butler version of that.
Yeah, I'd rather see him buttling. I don't instead of
Making
being like
soup and
it's like
stuff.
when he met Batman's dad and they became friends. I did look
Planning
it up.
the Wayne family
apparently-
brunch.
apparently
Oh, this
the-
is gonna be
Detailing
crazy.
the Batmobile.
Yeah, hold on.
Having to
Apparently,
do like wacky hijinks
I
to keep the Bruce Wayne persona up, like, and he's managing a party, and he's like, "Oh, Bruce will be here. Bruce will be here. I promise you that." And then he goes
Cut
back
to
and
Alfred
puts
Dredd, yeah,
on
putting on a
makeup
Bruce
that
and
would be
his
a great
doubler.
idea.
Hey, everybody, I'm Bruce Wayne. Oh God, I've got to go back.
I thought
And his
Bruce's
Batman's, like,
girlfriend was
beating
gonna
up the
be
Joker.
here. She'll be here in a second. Hold on.
Hello.
I was just with Bruce, and now he's a wonderful
Bruce Wayne's
man.
mom has a mustache. Mrs. Wayne has a mustache.
You're not supposed to put
Damn
that.
you, Master Wayne.
And the end of the
Apparently,
episode is Batman just going, you know, you don't have to plan parties. Like,
No, he does.
didn't
And
ask
he
you-
like he sadistically makes him keep up the appearance. He's like, Alfred, if people don't think that I'm Bruce Wayne,
have to
the
throw
whole
the
thing is
debutante ball
fucked.
tonight.
The whole thing is fucked. The
It's the only
Joker's.
thing holding it together.
Yeah, they're on to my secret identity. You have to throw the biggest party in the world tonight.
And Alfred, I have 2 dates. No! You got to keep them apart.
so I did look into the Pennywise show. Apparently, it ended on a cliffhanger where everyone just sees a city get nuked, and that's just the ending of
like
the
the
Penny.
Sledgehammer show.
I guess
That was a
It's-
good
everyone
show.
just stares off at a nuclear bomb going off, and then the show got canceled. So it's like, oh, I guess everyone fucking
Where's the
died.
set off
nuke
the-
going
wait, who
off
set off
at?
the
What are you
nuke?
talking about?
I don't know. I just looked into
Maybe
this
it was
Pennywise
the
show.
Joker. Is
I
it
don't-
called Pennywise?
It's called Pennywise.
It's not called
It's-
Alfred?
no, it's literally called Pennywise, the origin of
Pennywise, the
about
origin of
Batman's
Alfred.
butler. Anyway,
Doesn't
that's
that put like pound foolish into your mind?
yeah,
Is his name Pennywise?
Pennyworth.
Alfred Pennyworth?
Yeah, yeah, Pennyworth.
Why'd they call it Pennywise?
No,
Well, that's a clown now. You can't do it now.
no. Is it
Oh.
called Pennywise or Pennyworth?
It's called Pennyworth.
You said Pennywise.
Pennywise.
Oh, I
Sorry.
screwed up. Sorry,
You messed
sorry.
me all
Yeah.
up.
So anyway, that's what Danny Cannon's doing. This movie was written by one of the writers of Terminator 2, and also Stephen
really?
Stephen E. D'Souza, but this was like on his way down. Like he did like Die Hard and shit. It was all awesome, and then he did Street Fighter, and then this.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of over. What did he do after that? I think he did like one of the Tomb Raider sequels or something.
I remember when you fucked up, they used to kick you out of Hollywood, but now they just let you keep making stuff.
Yeah, now they just keep you making movies over and over
The guy
again.
who made Rise of Skywalker's making some new thing. I forget. He's writing some big project.
They gave him Rise of Skywalker after Batman v Superman.
After Batman v Superman!
I would have been like, oh,
Why
can't
did
have
you?
that.
You should go. No, you're not allowed to make movies anymore.
And yeah, it's got music by Alan Silvestri, who totally crushes
It's
it.
a great soundtrack.
Great. Alan Silvestri is
I
one
still
of my...
hum it when I'm jacking off, like if I'm hungover.
Dude, Alan
Dude,
Silvestri is like one of my favorite composers. Like the Predator soundtrack's amazing. He did the live-action Mario Brothers music. It was really good.
Mario.
Yeah, look, that's how my Italian dad says it. Okay,
Mario.
Mario.
You say Mario. Yeah, and Stallone demanded that Gianni Versace design all the judge outfits. He
They
was
looked
like-
awesome.
They do. I don't like
That would have made it even funnier if they were like
Yeah.
screwing around like in the comic and just being jackasses.
Yeah, that would have been funnier. I missed the little X on his helmet, but the suit looks great. I love the giant eagle.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
like how
like-
it makes noise the whole time while he's walking around. Crack, crack, crack.
But I like Judge Dredd 2012, but I miss the big. Like he has an eagle technically. I'm like, no, you need the big obnoxious eagle. It's kind of like the
It does
point.
look
You need
awesome.
it. Don't make him tactical. Make him look ridiculous.
I was trying to figure it out because like some judges have like double the regular thing, but then some of them,
Yeah.
he's not the only one who has the eagle. And I was like, do you get the eagle if you're like a
Yeah,
senior
you're like a
judge?
higher
Some of the
ranking.
judges have the skulls.
Do they in the comics or in the movie?
Oh yeah, the judge investigators they
Yeah.
have like straight up skulls.
I guess in this movie, are they the dark? I have questions about the dark.
Well, the other
judges.
question I have that I brought up
Those
to,
are supernatural entities.
I love the badge design that just says like Dredd in like big letters, you
Yeah,
know, and like
yeah.
every judge has their own. But then I was always like, well, what if your name's like
They just do smaller
They
Martinez-
write the whole thing out.
Martinez
Yeah.
Smith?
It's awesome.
Oh yeah, because the one
Like,
is,
do they drop a line if you have like one of those
I think they
long
do.
fucking
who's
names?
the psychic lady? It's Anderson, right?
Yeah,
they just use
Anderson.
smaller font.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, what if it's like one of those hyphenated, like, you know, you got married twice kind of.
No
like,
What if it's
exceptions,
like
they
a
cram the
Kenyan
whole
with like a
thing
really
on.
long? You
Yeah.
get like multiple badges.
Anderson, Smith, Huevos.
But yeah, I guess
Rancheros.
we'll just get into this movie. It opens up with a collage of comics because I guess Americans didn't know that this was a comic series.
We didn't.
Yeah, this is everyone's first exposure, and
Well,
we get
it's from what, 3000 AD?
2000 AD.
2000 AD.
2000
The
AD.
British
So it's supposed
comic
to be
magazine.
like satirically far in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
And we learn from
2000s
this.
are going to be
We'll learn from this
horrible.
film that they weren't just focusing on Judge Dredd. They bring in other 2000 AD stuff.
Wait, what? Really?
Yeah, like the ABC Warriors. Like I know they crossed over with Dredd, but they were like all.
Oh, I
their
didn't
own-
know that.
Yeah, they were all their own separate kind of stories in that
Oh.
universe. But this movie tried to do like all of it.
And it
yeah,
nailed it.
well, some would say
It was great.
Some people don't think so, but let's figure it out.
What are you talking about? It went from Rob Schneidley hanging out in the garbage
Schneidley.
to
Old
Judge
Schneidley.
Dredd having to quit being a judge and take the walk on the cursed earth and finding out the clone factory and becoming a chief judge. It did everything.
It didn't do a lot of things. It could have just did a few less things, I think.
We got two extremes of the Judge Dredd thing, like
Yeah.
the Raid ripoff, Raid Redemption ripoff in one building,
Yeah.
one judgery, and then this.
Dude, can we talk about Raid Redemption? I hate when people say Dredd 2012 is a ripoff of that movie.
Me too. It's not.
It's like, no, it was being made first. The effects and 3D conversion made it come out after. And it's like, are you guys fucking idiots? Also, Raid was okay.
Oh, we get it. You're so
Yeah.
you've seen foreign cinema. Okay, I'm sure
People
you're really
No,
impressed.
people like Vito are the ones that do. They're like, well, this one's Asian, so it's better because I like
Yeah.
anime. You do that all the time.
I haven't seen the Raid Redemption, so.
But I bet you haven't seen it. I bet you think it's
I'm
better
not a
than
guy
2012.
who says this movie is better or whatever. I don't do that. Except for Shin Godzilla, which everyone
Yeah.
should see.
Oh, you got tripped up with. You wanted to do it again with Godzilla -1. You're like,
Shin
oh, shit.
Godzilla is better than Godzilla.
Enough about
-1.
Godzilla. We get James Earl Jones.
They were the police, jury, and executioner all in one. They were the judges.
They somehow paid him for an hour to do this narration that brings us up to speed on the future.
Yeah.
Everyone's in mega cities. How many mega cities are there? It's like 5, right?
Well, they showed LA and New York, and when they showed the map.
Yeah.
So
I
at
know
least
there's a
those
moon
two.
There's
one.
Texas. There's I
Texas.
think there's 2 on the West Coast. Mega City 1's the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah, it's the whole
but
Eastern
then
Seaboard.
there's like if they want to have there's like Caledonia, there's UK,
Yeah.
there's like Egypt has one where they're all dressed like they're at the Luxor Casino.
Yeah.
Basically, if they want to go do
You
a
can just
run,
make one up at any point.
There's a lunar base.
Yeah, I know
you
the lunar one.
Titan, there's a prison on Titan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they had the Titan Eden prison in this. Oh my
Well,
god.
it was the Aspen prison, I think, right?
Oh, they changed
Yeah.
it to Aspen.
Yeah, yeah.
Stupid.
They don't go to space.
They weren't ready to go to
Boomer
space
joke.
yet.
Aspen.
So yeah, he lets us know
I remember
that.
my dad laughing at that in the theater and me going,
So yeah, he lets us know that
that's not satire.
a new law enforcement had to be made. The judges, they're judge, jury, and executioner. So
Incredible.
Yeah.
you just get judged right on the spot. No time for a trial or anything, unless you are a judge. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, they do have trials. Good point.
So like, so the movie opens up. We get to
Tribunal,
see,
though.
We get to see Mega City 1. Fergie is being
Mega
released
City
from
1.
prison. Fergie is a character from the comic apparently, but he's like
I
very
remember
different.
that.
So yeah, he arrives in Mega City 1, and it looks like Blade Runner.
He
A
is
lot of
being
sci-fi was
paroled.
looking like Blade Runner, but of all the
It looks like the Sonic Casino Zone
yeah, which
mixed with Blade Runner.
you mixed with Blade Runner. A lot of movies were aping Blade Runner style. This one did it the best.
Oh yeah.
Like visually, because like Mario Brothers was trying to do it, didn't really land.
They did a pretty good job.
Highlander 2 tried to do Blade Runner and it looked like shit.
Oh my God, Highlander 2 is a mess.
can't
But yeah,
even-
this movie, I was surprised when it opened up, and I'm like, oh, they're trying to do like a Blade Runner cyberpunk thing, and then it like starts panning up. I'm like, oh, they actually did a
It
good
looks
job.
solid. It looks amazing. It still
Yeah.
holds up to this day.
Yeah,
Like
it
all the
does.
miniatures and match shots.
Even like they had like a 3D robot like for like robot jock fights. And like,
Yeah.
even that looks pretty good for like the time.
it looks solid. The
Yeah.
mid to late 90s.
And that's
were-
where it first starts going wrong.
Yeah.
There is not any kind of like sex Olympic
Yeah.
ads or like
Yeah.
Okay, good
bounce
point.
I
the
did see a
gum
Jack in the Box sign, and I
So-
was like, I like when they have like some of the old stuff is still around.
It
but
should
they're-
have deviated from reality like a long time ago. We
Yeah.
should be looking
Yeah.
at like a sarcastic timeline.
Here's one of the issues with the movie. Danny Cannon had like a bunch of fights with Stallone. The movie's rated R, but we were talking. It doesn't feel like a rated R movie.
no, it
does
doesn't.
Stallone was trying so hard to get this to PG-13, and Danny Cannon wanted it to
It's
be like,
not?
no, it's rated R. For some reason, they couldn't get it down to PG-13, but he wanted it to be down to PG-13,
Yeah.
and then the director wanted it to be violent like the comics.
Yeah.
So you had these two going in two different directions.
It sucks that they have an R rating and they don't abuse it at all. Is you're like, oh man, if you were going to get an R rating, it would have been awesome. to
Yeah,
have them, like blowing.
But
the-
apparently they were fighting so hard for the PG-13, and they
Yeah.
found out too late that it was stuck at R, and they just didn't have time to re-edit it.
Because as I was watching it, I'm like, this is a little more violent than I would have expected for what I thought was PG-13. So as I was watching, I'm like, oh, is this R? But then it kind of dials it back.
It does feel down.
Yeah.
I recently, well, at this point, it was a while
I feel
ago.
like the level of violence that they're going for like doesn't work in comic book movies. Like all the Deadpool violence
Yeah.
feels just tiresome
Yeah.
at the end of it, like the Deadpool versus Wolverine.
Well,
stuff.
it's lost any impact now. Where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, guy's head explodes. You're like, yeah, I know.
yeah.
No. Also, the 90s were kind of neutered gore-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah. This could have came out a few years later and probably would have been fine. But yeah, so that was like a big fight. That's why you don't get a lot of that stuff, because they did the same thing with Mortal Kombat. They made that PG-13 so kids could see
yeah.
it. And it's like, you
Yeah.
kind of want like the blood and more adult humor.
Well, they want all the money of the PG-13.
Yes.
I think this was still the time when, like, for the longest time, an R rating was like, say goodbye to $100 million or whatever.
Not quite, because Terminator 2 did really well. This is when
Terminator
you
2
could
was
still
R.
do it.
Yeah.
They knew parents would bring their kids to this.
Mine did.
Yeah. I saw Starship Troopers in theaters.
They
as,
didn't
like,
care
a
back
young
then.
kid.
Can you believe that?
Yeah. My grandfather
Oh,
was
dude,
like, I
I-
want to go see a movie. I don't care if you're 6. We're going to go see this movie.
So remember when what was that movie about John from Mars or something?
John Carter.
John
John
Carter
Carter.
Mars?
My dad saw that by himself because he couldn't talk any of us into going to see it.
Yeah.
It was like a couple years ago, right?
2012.
Recent. 2012.
Yeah.
Okay, recently
Yeah.
enough. We
Yeah.
were all adults.
Yeah.
He was walking out and he got on the news to get interviewed by the news for having seen it.
Yeah.
Then he comes on.
That's
He's
the
like,
only
"Check
guy
me
who saw
out."
John Carter.
Yes, and he's like,
Okay.
check me out. I'm on the news for John Carter. And his quote was, "It's a little violent for kids," and we're like, "What the hell are you talking about? You took us to literally everything."
Isn't it funny? As they get older, they said,
What are you doing?
My mom, I'll put like a movie on with like the twins. My mom will be like, they shouldn't be watching this. I'm like, you made me watch Silence of the Lambs at 7. What are
Yeah.
you fucking talking about?
What kids? Not yours.
Not
no,
mine.
Not mine. Other kids. Okay.
My dad let me watch Death Race 3000. So.
Yeah, I probably should not
Or
have done that.
2000, yeah.
So yeah, he ends up in Heavenly Haven, which of course is ironically titled because it's a shithole.
I did like the little joke. It like felt a little forced, but where they're flying past like this, a bunch of like babes
The really
in
nice
like a
when they're in the
pool.
pool. He's like,
Yeah,
is that
Rob
Heavenly
Schneider's
Haven?
like, oh, that's
Yeah,
Heavenly
yeah.
Haven, land there. And he's like,
Yeah.
that's not Heavenly Haven, you idiot. And he like keeps flying. I'm like,
I keep wondering why he's not familiar with this. It's like, oh yeah, mega cities are gigantic. He probably lived in a different part at one point.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't make sense that he's like, that's definitely it, right?
Yeah, he's like, oh, that's where they'll send the recently released prisoner
paroled,
to
yeah.
live. He shows up in the middle of a block war.
Yeah.
Everyone's just shooting the shit out of each other. And then an uncredited James Remar is the head of a gang. Do you recognize that guy?
No.
No.
Who's James Remar?
He's one of those guys. That's
one of the
in a lot
Remar
these.
brothers that we all
However,
know.
you would have known him as Hicks in Aliens, but he liked cocaine too much, so they fired him a week in and replaced him with Michael B.
That's too bad.
In the
A lot of guys
80s, he was
getting
doing too
skunked
much
by
for
that.
even for the 80s. They're like, that's too
That's
much,
too much.
buddy.
Come on,
That's
buddy.
definitely too much.
You would know James Remar. He was the second Raiden in the Mortal Kombat.
The replacement-
Annihilation,
the replacement Raiden?
Raiden in the second Mortal Kombat movie
Yeah.
with the bleach blonde hair.
That doesn't help.
I like that one.
So yeah, they're fighting. Judge Hershey is there with a rookie who's Diane Lane, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. She's there
Judge
with a rookie.
Hershey.
She's at the corner of Abbott and Costello,
Yeah.
which I feel like the comics did that.
They did that all the
They
time
gave the
in the
blocks
comics.
like really
Yeah.
funny names.
Yeah.
I think in 2012 it's called Peach Trees because when the guy met with like the director, they were at a bar or
Called
cafe
Peach
No,
called
he's-
Peach
where
Trees.
does Dredd live in the? Oh, he doesn't go to his home, but they're all like old movie stars. All the
All the
blocks.
streets.
Yeah,
All the
yeah.
all the buildings.
Yeah, so they're pinned down. They're like, we got to get back up. And that's when Stallone comes in his awesome bike.
And he informs them that the effective lethal range of that
Yeah.
firearm is only 200.
What are you doing
that's
down? And here's the problem. The Stallone voice. I don't know what's going on, but the Stallone voice is worse than it is in any other movie. Like
Steroids.
It probably was.
He went
this-
through his third puberty.
You watch like Demolition Man or like Rocky 4 or 5. It's like he didn't sound that bad. He definitely sounded worse as he got
Yeah,
older.
he got bad and judged because he was trying to do a Batman voice.
Yeah.
His normal voice is that messed up, and
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, check it out. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna do this voice." You're like, whoa, buddy, you put a hat on a hat.
I do love that a little microphone comes out. Where's the speak? I don't know where the speaker is, but the microphone comes out.
I mean, that was a missed opportunity for a joke where you can just go, just stand down, I'm going to take you all in. They go, what the fuck is he saying?
No, that's not a good joke to have.
So yeah, he says they're under arrest. They say no, and he does his running line of "I knew you'd say that. I knew you'd say that."
That was dready.
Yeah, that was a little.
That
Dredd.
line was.
We get our first look
Dredd
at the.
character,
Now
like,
I need an explanation of the lawgivers. How many rounds of ammo can it fit in that tiny thing?
a lot.
A lot.
A lot.
As many as you need.
It
But
can
by the
also
way-
fit a DNA sequencer to apply to
Yes.
every bullet.
Wait.
But
So
yes.
I was looking at it. I'm like, okay, maybe they're like really tiny bullets, and that's how it works. But then we see an X-ray later, and they're normal sized bullets. I'm like, how's
Yeah.
he fitting like fire rounds and laser rounds?
I feel like I should know this, but I don't.
I assume if there's a comic explanation, they're like very tiny. That's my thought.
I gotta say, did we get a Judge? There was a Judge Dredd video game, right? I think
There was an
like a
arcade
Nintendo or
game.
something.
Yeah, there was an arcade game based off this.
Because
I
I'm
think it was
like,
on
oh my
Super
god, he's
Nintendo.
changing weapons. Like this is some
That is very
gamified
video
stuff. I'm
gaming.
excited. Use the double round.
So yeah, they break in. Judge Dredd shoots through
the double round, yeah.
Yeah.
Double
Yeah.
win.
What is it called? Double whammy.
You'd always need to shoot two
Yeah.
bullets at once in that exact pattern.
Wait, your gun has a specific bullet for shooting two guys who are standing
Yeah.
next to each other in a room? Yes.
and it doesn't shoot straight. It doesn't shoot
Yeah, it's just
three
like a
just
sky-
in case. Like it shoots only two that way. All
But,
right.
And that's better than just rapid fire? You don't understand.
Yeah.
It's-
My favorite is Judge Dredd shoots through the ceiling and falls in.
yeah.
We don't see if he has an X-ray or anything. He just knows they're there. He doesn't know how many people are
He
there.
has good instincts.
He can
He has
sense
good
it.
instincts. He takes them all out, and then the rookie's like, "I'm gonna go." He's like, "No, wait!" Like they're like, "Don't go in guns blazing." It's like he literally just
He
watched
literally
you
just
do
did
that. You
that.
actually did it worse than he did.
Well, you know.
That rookie was a hot
That-
shot.
And that rookie just goes in and just gets annihilated.
Great line, though, when he's got the guy at gunpoint.
And he tells him
He's
everything
giving him all
he did.
the 5 years for destruction of property, murder of a judge.
Let me guess. Life? I love the scream. Again, James
Death.
Remar went uncredited for this role. I don't know why. But yeah, he gets murdered.
He murders him.
Yeah.
And then
It's a death sentence. You can't kill a
Death
judge.
sentence. And then outside, we see the actor Mitchell Ryan, who's a reporter. And I only bring him up because we're doing Halloween 6 later this year, and this is not the worst movie he was in this year. Halloween 6 was the worst movie he was in this
Is
year.
that the one where they all say like tonight Jason dies or tonight
Evil
Hall-
Dies
It's not
Tonight?
Halloween.
Evil dies?
No, I'm talking about a
tonight?
movie from 1995, not the movie from 2022.
Oh, okay.
How do you? What's the
I don't
timeline
know
in your
any-
brain?
I don't really watch movies.
Except Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
So we're talking
I
about a
just
movie from
watched-
1995. You're like, oh yeah, is that the movie that came out a few years
Grit
ago?
over and over and Dredd and Trailer Park Boys. That's pretty much it.
You're stuck in like the 90s, 2000s.
No, I'm stuck in only those
Oh,
shows.
just those three.
Only
It's
those
just that
couple
genre.
of shows. There will be blood. I'll throw in there every once in a while.
That is a good one. That is a solid one. So yeah, he's reporting. He's like, he doesn't like the judges.
And it's setting up that someone might not like this reporter guy.
Yeah. Oh, it's
This is where
double-sided.
Rob Schneider, of course, is found hiding.
Yes, they find him in the robot.
That's a great scene.
I know.
Yeah. By the
Tumbling
way,
out of the trash.
yeah,
Eating all
and
the noodles.
They
I don't think he
arrest
was
him.
eating the noodles. I think he's,
And he was pretending to be the trash machine. Eat recycled, food.
that was his voice.
It's good for the environment and okay
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, so
he hacked it.
Dredd pulls him out and he's like, not even less than 24 hours and you're committing crimes again. But I like that Hershey's there and like, can the judges not outrule? Because Hershey's be like, no, Dredd, like fucking
He's
relax.
hiding from a gunfight, of
Yeah,
course.
and like, but she's just like, no, you did break the rule.
Yeah.
She's like, Judge, I think you went a little too far. I'm like, you're ruining that man's life. Can you be a little bit more aggressive about this? Like, hey, Dredd, stop
But
it.
I
Oh,
think
she
Rick.
should be thrown in the ISO cubes too for that
That would've
insubordination.
been funny.
That's a big violation, especially in front of.
Oh, that's
especially in
right.
front
He
of a
is the
perp.
superior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Well, it is the part where we're setting up the movie's almost theme, which is that Judge Dredd has a slavish
Maybe you
devotion
should question
to the
authority.
idea of
That's
the
the
law.
worst part of this movie.
Right.
Judge Dredd learning the
Judge Dredd
total
learning
wrong
sometimes
lesson.
the law is not 100%
And it'd be funny if
is
they
absolute.
did
always-
it ironically, but it doesn't do it ironically.
Yeah, it should have been ironic. Like, actually, the law was so right, I wasn't following it correctly.
Yeah.
That's what he usually discovers is like, well, in these cases, there is another law that means that invalidates this one.
The fact that I was falsely put on trial is the law working perfectly because in the end, all the bad guys ended up dead anyway.
Yeah.
I
So
love
no one ever questioned the law.
I love
Yeah.
that. I love that Fergie's like, you should have jumped out the window. He's like, it's like 12 stories. I would have died. He's like, yep, but it would have been legal.
It would have been legal.
Like, that's actually kind of funny. Rob Schneider's not great in this.
I don't think it is, though. I don't think that would be legal.
It's legal to jump out the window.
It's not legal to die, though.
Is it not legal
It's
to
not
kill
Killing
legal.
yourself?
suicide
It's
is
not.
legal
I guess
in
it's not
Mega
legal to
City
commit
1.
suicide or suicide attempt. But once you're dead, what can they do? I guess I don't know.
Yeah, they will put you
Oh,
in
they'd
the
have to prove
ISO
it.
cubes.
Your dead body in the ISO cube. So we get to see the. I guess it's called the Hall of Justice. I don't know if that's
Yeah,
its real
yeah.
name.
That's
I
right.
love the look. It's just a giant eagle building.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool
That's
as shit.
cool.
It looks cool as shit. And Jurgen Prochnow.
I think in the comics, the Tech City has like a giant cowboy hat on it, too.
Oh, that's funny.
Or a giant
I
set
gotta
of
get one of
cowboy
those.
boots.
But yeah, Jurgen Prochnow is the Judge Griffin. I talked about him in Air Force One recently. Seen Air Force One anytime soon?
Not recently, no.
Don't watch it again.
Because it's a white terrorist? What's
No,
the-
it opens up with the president going, I'm sorry, I only stopped terrorism when America was affected. I'm going to interfere with more terrorist stuff. And
Oh.
watching it post-war on terror, I'm like, oh my God, I can't root for this guy for the whole, I
And
actually
just
want
put
him to
the
die.
Twin Towers right after that. And then,
And like the whole movie's like,
Oh,
what a
we
hero. I'm
shouldn't have
like,
done that.
no, he's going to waste all our
No.
money. Get out of here.
Stop.
Anyway, so Jurgen Prochnow is Judge Griffin, and right away you're like, well, he's the bad guy. They talk about he talks about with the other councilman, what's the one, Fargo, played by Max von Sydow. They're like, look, there's too much crime, and they're like, this city was only meant for what, like 20,000 people, and there's like 60,000. They don't have enough judges to
there should be like
police. What?
millions.
Yeah.
Hundreds of millions.
Yeah, I
Like,
felt like that
800
number was.
million
I don't know if I
people.
misheard the number, but it felt a little low.
I don't remember that.
I don't remember the number.
But I like that Griffin's like, we should make the death penalty extend to lesser crimes. Like that's his one solution.
Yeah,
So if
just
you
start
steal,
murdering
just
them,
shoot
these
him.
people. Because of
Um,
all the block warfare going
and
on.
then-
I remember them like going it. This is kind of like a civics thing. Like that's not
Yeah.
really what it's about. It's
Yeah.
just about like one man's struggle
Yeah.
with fascism.
And then Fargo meets with Dredd, who, and this is the scene that pisses off a lot of people, takes his helmet off. People hate that. How do you feel? I mean,
I'm not
if
losing
this is
sleep over
when
it.
I
It's a
first- when I-
Hollywood adaptation.
when I first saw it, I didn't know that Dredd was supposed to keep his helmet on all the time, so I didn't care. But
Obviously, you didn't. That's the thing. It was made for Americans who are not reading this
Yeah.
British comic book. So, like, what are you gonna do?
At that point, it's kind of like an action movie anyway.
Yeah.
So you're like, all right, they're just doing an action movie where he learns a lesson.
here's my one thing: like,
whatever.
I prefer if he would have kept it on the whole time. I mean, that's what for
mean,
this story it
or-
doesn't really work.
yeah.
But,
But he gets arrested. They're not going to let
Yeah.
him keep his
Yeah.
helmet on when he gets
That's
arrested.
true.
yeah, well, I just
Has
wanted
he
to
ever
story.
taken it off in the comics?
Oh yeah,
They
he
put
ta-
other shit on.
He
Yeah.
takes it
They
off
hide it.
like I remember Dredd 2012. He technically has it off, but he's like in a silhouette. You don't see
Yeah,
him, even though you
okay.
know what Carl Urban
Yeah.
looks like.
Yeah.
So it doesn't bother me like too much, but
It doesn't bother me at all. I like Stallone's
Pisses a
face.
lot
He
of people
goes.
up.
He gets like. He becomes like the dead man wandering around the wastelands too for a bit, but I don't think they show his face then either. Or maybe they do. I don't know. They draw it so crappy.
Yeah,
Like it's
yeah.
hard to tell.
so yeah, he's being forced to teach ethics to the cadets. That's like his punishment for killing way too many people. Then we go to the Aspen prison colony, where a warden, for whatever reason, is giving a prisoner a package, and the prisoner is Rico, played by Armand Asante, who is
Who's a clone?
yes, he's fucking incredible in this movie. He is
Yeah.
by far the best. But he's the only actor who like knows what movie he's in. He's like,
He is
oh,
a good bad
this
guy.
is just like a shitty fun time. I'm gonna go
No.
nuts. Like Max von Sydow's for some reason like really trying to act, and Stallone's really trying to act, and they're on two different levels of acting. Armand Asante's like, I'm just gonna
He
do
plays like a
one-liners.
psycho.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
great.
it's
He's
cool.
great. And I know Rico in the comics. I don't know if he always had it, but he has like a fucked up nose, like a robot nose or something. But I think he got that from a fight with Dredd.
Oh.
But that's a change I don't care about because he's so good in this role.
Is he in the comics known as Dredd's like half brother or whatever?
I
He's
think
called-
everybody knows that they're clones.
They're
They're all
clones.
clones of
Yeah.
Fargo.
He's called
It's
Rico.
a whole program.
Yeah, he's called Rico Dredd because there is a different Judge Rico who has a
Yeah.
thing called Rico.
Yeah.
But sometimes they do make Rico. It's like a whole thing. But yeah, it wasn't
There's
like
a couple clones.
it wasn't like a secret in the comics, right?
No, it
they
came
just
out.
knew.
And everyone's like, "Yep, that's awesome that we're doing that."
Everyone's like, yeah, cool. Whatever. I don't know why it would be such a big deal in this. It's like, hey, half the world got nuked. We don't really care that you cloned a guy. So yeah, he gets a little package. It's a picture of that reporter, a badge, and it turns out the package is a gun. I like he shoots the warden through
I
the
did
face.
like that the
Sneaky
package
gun.
was a sneaky
Yeah.
gun.
But I like that the warden didn't bring the security guys in with him. But I guess it was implied he's like our benefactor. So I
Yeah,
guess
the
it's
warden was like kind of
shady.
in on it for
He just
some
didn't know what
reason.
kind of shady stuff he was involved
But
with.
like, did Rico not? I guess so. Rico was not like in suspended animation. He's just been in a weird jail for
Yeah, he's
all
been
this
in a
whole
jail.
time.
Why didn't they kill him? That doesn't make
Because
sense.
that's not the law, Tony.
No, like,
No, he killed a lot of people. That would
yeah,
have been the
but
law.
it doesn't. You
But
know,
if it's a judge,
But he
I
had
guess.
like his own
different.
like he wasn't in like the regular jail, or was he?
he was in a
no,
penal
he was
colony.
in his own. Yeah, he was in
But
his
he's
own.
in his own like
He was
cell
on his own
area?
special
Yeah.
cell with two giant turrets that only are voice activated. They have no cameras that can recognize
No.
people. So the
It's
warden's
AI,
like,
man.
Because
warden's-
no one-
warden's
That's
like,
accurate. That is how it would be set up.
You know
in
what?
a bad, dumb
my
way.
friggin' Alexa has no idea what I'm talking about sometimes. So yeah, that
Yes,
actually is
that's
relatable.
how it would be.
Alexa, do this. Oh, calling someone you haven't talked to in 15 years from your contacts. Like, no, don't do that.
Amazon also has not figured out if someone shoots you in the throat, what happens with the Alexa. They never planned for that.
So yeah, he kills the guards and gets out of there.
And he goes, starts getting his judge stuff.
He gets the
Yeah.
robot.
He's getting the robot. First, we got to see Dredd lecture the cadets. And this is like the worst motivational speech ever. He's like, oh, this is yours. If you do this, you're yours. And then
you
he goes,
guys are from the academy, you get flamed.
and he's like, yeah, and this is all the stuff you'll get of a judge. Like, by the way, the most important thing is the law. And you're either going to die in the streets or you're going to like go into the desert and die slowly. And like, at some point, I'd be like, oh, I quit? That sucks. What the fuck?
Nah, but you could like abuse people.
I guess
You
so,
know?
but like when you're old, you have to go in the desert. I don't think that was the thing from the comics. Wasn't it like an optional thing?
Yeah, I don't think that.
I don't think it was-
that retirement plan is accurate.
Yeah, this makes it seem like it's mandatory. I'm like, no one would take this fucking
kind of a
job.
weird suicidal.
It's so weird.
I would
thing
assume
to
What
that-
would even be the point of working your way up the ladder if at the end you still need to go into
Well,
the
they don't
desert?
say like, maybe with the like 6 months left to live, you go out in the desert. It's like the old man walking to the sea.
Why don't you go to like there would be a lot of corruption if that was the case.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
So yeah, that's like the worst speech ever, and all those cadets should just quit right then and
But
there.
instead, they all love him weirdly.
That's when he gets
Oh.
the damn thing to work.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
lawmaster, which you know is coming up later.
Yeah.
You know he's gonna ride it at some point. But yeah, Hershey kind of gives him shit. She's just like, hey, you suck. Can you not? And she's like, do you not have friends? She's like, I have friends I hang out with. He's like, I had a friend once. I judged him.
What do you do
That's
for
like the
fun?
80s
I had
movie
to kill my
creeping
friend.
in,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Like, oh, wow,
Yeah, we hadn't really
okay.
brushed off the 80s yet. We were still trying to brush it off. I do like when Rico like sneaks into the city
It's
as
a
a
sax
corpse.
solo, right?
Yeah.
As he's looking at the whole picture.
Like Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
I do like Rico does the Michael Myers sit up in the body bag. That was pretty cool.
That's good.
But yeah, he goes to the pawn shop and they activates the ABC Warrior. I think it's Hammerstein, I think is the name of it. This thing's fucking cool. This
That's
robot
cool.
is still really, really cool. Happy birthday. It looks
Did they say
Scary.
the robot can only be activated by a judge, or was that just the gun?
the gun, just the gun.
So how did he get the robot working
Because he's
again?
just smart and knew how to activate
Because
it.
he's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but I do like
response
he's
to
like
evil.
he's like, don't touch it, only a judge. He's like, look at that, I must be a judge. Boom, just fucking kills him. But like, by the way, him and the robot is the best relationship of the movie.
Yeah.
And like
It's a
the
buddy
robot,
comedy, but like a bad cop.
the robot
really
is like
bad cop.
literally he turns that robot on. He's like, this is my son. I love this. This is great. He calls it his boy later in the film. Not like, oh, that's my boy. He's like, nah, that's my boy. Like a father would. I'm like, this is so fucking.
If this movie was
creepy.
made in the modern day, that robot would have a funny voice and would say funny things.
Yeah. Like Transformers.
Yeah.
Their fight banter in that movie.
It would
is
have to be
so
a black guy's
distracting.
voice if it was the modern day.
No, there was a local like lawyer commercial in my town, and they had a like a CGI transformer,
Womp
but
womp. Out of a
literally
gavel?
it literally turned into this robot. I remember watching. I'm like, where are they? Because it was like a cheap. I'll find a picture of it because I had to take
Yeah.
a picture of the TV. I'm like, hold on.
Is that an ABC robot?
I'm like, it turned into the ABC robot from this movie. I took it years ago. I'm like,
yeah.
who's the CGI guy? Like, they must have pulled it
Well,
from
they
a
must have
You
pulled it
website.
off
want that
a
robot on your
repository.
side in court?
Because it was when the Transformers movies were like
Yeah.
big, so they're like, well, we're hip and happening. Let's use this robot for like whatever they got it
Transform
from.
that DUI into a 6-month probation.
And me knowing the context, I'm like, I don't like that the lawyers have the murder robot from like the evil.
No.
Hey man, if I gotta get a lawyer, I want the one with the murder robot.
Yeah. So
Maybe Short Circuit. He would be a good lawyer.
he would be a good one. He'd be a good one. So yeah, later that day, a Dredd kills the reporter and his wife. Just walks in the room, just murders them.
You would think that they would maybe have seen this sort of thing play out before, like
Yeah.
these guys who have ultimate power.
Yeah,
you know?
he's
Somebody
doing
would have framed
yeah.
them before.
He's going around being like, I'm going to expose him. I'm going to expose him. Like, hey, why don't you like wait? And then like when you announce it, you're far away. Like, what the fuck
Yeah.
are you doing? So yeah, I like Judge Hershey finds a drunk driver and then Dredd comes in to take care of the situation. So driving drunk is bad,
Yeah.
but blowing up a car in front of a bunch of people, you don't give them any warning, you're going to explode the car. You could kill any of them.
law,
That's
man.
legal as long as the judge is doing
The
it.
sentences
the
are a little.
punishment.
I'm like, wait, hiding a robot is 5 years because you have priors, but driving drunk is you blow up your car. Like, do you guys just like make up?
But like the
fun-
explosion, I'm like, Dredd, I think what you did is a worse crime.
Yeah. Well, you definitely damaged the cars around
And again,
that car.
the script isn't funny enough to be like, no, that's the joke. It's like, no, the movie wants you to think that's cool. And I'm like, no.
It is cool.
It is
Fuck
cool.
That guy.
But yeah. I like, he's like, do you know who I am or whatever? Like, I guess they could bribe the judges, but he found the one judge that you can't bribe.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, they never explain that when they send him to jail, it's like welfare housing.
yeah.
That's almost identical to the free
It's the exact
welfare
same.
housing. The
So it doesn't
ISO cubes
matter.
are the same as like welfare housing. So people are going in and out. They don't care.
so he gets arrested for murder by the dark
Judge
judges.
Dredd gets arrested.
Okay, so the judges get lawyers.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. Yeah,
I
probably.
mean, he gets Judge Hershey to defend him. He's like, she's the best at law. I'm like, yeah, but there's no like lawyers in this universe. Only you guys get it. You guys can police yourselves, I guess.
Well, it is interesting when you're like, okay, yeah, so what if there is a case where there's video evidence? Do they just look at it on the street and then make a decision?
Yeah.
Like, there's no
but she
investigation.
says the video evidence can't be trusted. It's bad. And then they're like, all right.
Well, what doesn't make sense is that they go, so it has to be completely thrown out because we don't know who's in it. I'm like, Well, you could still use it. You could just say, we can't definitively prove that's him in it. Instead, they go, no, that evidence basically doesn't exist. So I'm like, well, that's not.
And then they go, oh, we're gonna reveal everything to you guys. All your bullets have your DNA. It's like, what was the point of the fucking trial? Just bring that up, and like, oh, your DNA's on it.
Why did the computer just say that at the beginning? Why do you need these guys?
Well, yeah, for some reason they were making it out like it's a big secret, but for some reason all the judges are like, oh, cool, our bullets have our DNA on them. That's neat to know. And you're like, no, that's kind of like a big revelation.
Also, I don't know why it's a revelation, because it's linked to like their palm print or whatever.
Well,
like
they already know you can't.
Yeah,
they already know you can't use it unless you're holding it. So I mean, I don't know why each bullet has to be DNA encoded.
Yeah, they show that
because we actually have that in real life. We have guns stamping bullets.
Yeah,
I do like that they put the little ring of blood on the bullet as it shoots out. But I love Stallone's acting here. He's supposed to say it's a lie, but it comes out as is a lie. I never broke the law.
He's so overwhelmed.
It's a lie! The evidence has been falsified. I never broke the law. I am the law.
It's so overwhelmed.
You know?
And again, for some reason, everyone's like acting their heart out here, but the main character is a guy who can't act very well outside of like a few roles.
The character's being pushed in ways that has never happened before because his DNA is on it.
So now Fargo is worried.
How close was OJ to this?
Oh, this 95 was OJ 94?
Because DNA was hot.
Yeah,
that was like
topic.
that was
by the way,
all over this.
I was watching this on the plane on the way here.
Yeah,
and the guy next to me was watching that Netflix OJ documentary, which I'm sure is about how he's all guilty, but of course he was innocent, obviously. And the girl next to me was watching that movie Nora. Have you seen this thing?
The prostitute.
Yeah.
Yeah, we watched it.
Dude.
Unbelievable the amount of sex scenes.
The girl next to me, it wasn't just a lady on a plane. It was an off-duty flight attendant. And she's got her iPad up, and I keep looking over, and it's just tits of this girl getting railed for everyone to see.
Yeah,
and I'm
for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, and I'm like, why do you? So I'm trying to watch Judge Dredd. I'm looking at O.J. Simpson to the right of me, and to the left, and to see this girl get plowed. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I don't know when O.J. was.
Start jerking off.
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah.
DNA was hot. You're right. Fargo is worried about the media digging into it, and they're gonna figure out the whole Janus program and how I'm like implemented in it. They're like, what are we gonna do? Because I think Dredd is gonna be executed, and he's like, Griffin tells him like, there's one thing you can do to spare him. You can do the long walk, and they can give him like a reduced sentence, or like they'll give him life instead of death.
Life.
So yeah, Fargo's like, all right, I gotta protect Joseph Dredd. I'm gonna do the long walk.
Puts on the duster, walks off into the desert.
Cool.
Yeah.
It was a cool shot.
Yeah, it's actually a really good scene. So yeah, they're sending Dredd to Aspen. Fargo gets like all his weapons. They open up the thing. It's all dramatic and shit. Hershey has her own storyline where she's like investigating Dredd's locker, looking through his like baby. For some reason,
Snooping.
Yeah, for some reason, Dredd keeps a picture of like him as a baby in his locker.
Yeah, you don't keep a picture of yourself as a baby lying around?
No, I didn't have pictures of me as a baby at my old job. Maybe I should have. I don't know.
I think it's that he never met his parents, so it's the only picture he might have of his parents, supposedly.
And then
that's right.
And here's the big.
I don't think you go, look, I was a good-looking baby, huh?
Here's my question for this scene, because this is like not maybe a plot hole, but like a stupid thing that keeps bothering me. So we get the classic scene where like someone walks into the room and the bad guy's waiting for him. So Rico's there with Griffin. This is where we learn that Griffin is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Who's doing all this. So they're in the Hall of Justice. So Rico's stuck in the Hall of Justice. He also snuck in the giant fucking robot that makes and like throughout the movie, he's with this robot all over town. And I was like telling him, like, how does he keep sneaking that thing around? The thing is
like a freight
one of those
elevator.
things that's so obvious you don't even notice it.
And then later
It
on in the
can't
movie,
even fit through the door.
and then later on in the movie, it like sneaks up on him, like it's always making sound. How does it not stop? But that cracked me up. I'm like, okay, I can see maybe like on the streets, but how did he get it in that fucking building?
How did Steve?
Hi everyone, Tony from the future here. Dick decided to make a comparison that is very not YouTube friendly. And then he got mad at me when I told him that I was cutting it out of the episode, and made fun of me a bunch. So if you want to hear what he has to say, go to episode 448 of The Dick Show, where he retells his comparison or whatever there. I was a guest on that episode. That was the gender reveal episode for his baby. That was a lot of fun. So check that out so I can stay on YouTube.
He is the hero. The judges are bad. The judges are bad guys. Just in case it's not clear when they blow up that guy's car.
Well, in this version of the movie, it's like the judges are fine. The council are really bad. It's like, no, they're all.
That's what every version of Dredd messes up.
Yeah.
The judges are the bad guys.
Yeah, they're enjoying it, really. Dredd is like weird because he's like a clone who thinks he's doing right. Everyone else is just enjoying the power.
Been indoctrinated.
Yeah.
He's like, the Birdman.
It's not a good system of law, is what's important.
So
They
anyway.
bring the creator of it back to life, and he says, this is horrible. And they kill him and don't tell everybody that he said that.
That's fucking
The
funny.
real Fargo.
That is really funny.
They say
awesome.
to preserve this system,
Order.
we can't tell anybody that he said that.
He said, "You guys got to stop right now." Never mind. Go back to sleep. Dead.
So yeah, Griffin tells Rico, like, hey, we're real close to greenlighting Janus. He really wants to greenlight Janus to get crime under control. He's like, but before that, I need you to cause a lot of crime. And Armando Sante literally, like, he doesn't chew the scenery. He literally smashes the scenery. He's like, you want a revolution? He goes, here. And he just knocks over a statue like, I am the revolution. He's so
Like Citizen
fucking...
Kane.
He's so
Right,
fucking
watch.
awesome in this. So actually, this could have been its own movie, Dredd being sent to prison with all the people in prison. They've done that in like comics. I think like Green Arrow and Watchmen, they did it too.
Yeah.
Did they have a Green Arrow as gay? Is that the gay guy?
No, that was Green Lantern was gay.
Green
One
Lantern
of
was
them-
gay?
one of them
No, they
was
just
gay.
did a new one. The
Yeah,
one is gay.
old school Green Lantern was
Oh,
gay
with like the
in a
red
recent
cape,
thing.
that one was gay.
Oh,
Apparently.
that was Green Lantern?
The original Green Lantern.
Yeah,
He
they
can
just-
make stuff with his ring?
Yeah.
He can make dudes?
I don't think he can make stuff with
No,
his
he can.
ring.
He can. He can
Green
do
Lantern,
green
that's
stuff,
his
but like his
thing.
weakness was wood.
Alan Scott.
Oh.
And he didn't have he had a whole different origin. It was a
Yeah,
whole thing.
I thought his ring didn't come from the aliens though.
It didn't come from the aliens.
Yeah.
And that's
said,
why it's weird, because then they rebooted it, and then there's like newer stories where they're together. He's like, yeah, I'm the Green Lantern, the other one. It's like, all right, well, this is confusing now. There's a reason you guys were separate.
All right.
But anyway, he's on the prison transport next to Fergie. And I like Fergie's like
Wait, did you
looking
bring
at
up
him.
prison? You immediately went, oh, is one of these guys gay, like in prison?
Yeah.
Is that how you got there?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Okay.
So anyway, I do like that Fergie outs him as Judge Dredd. He's like, Dredd? He's like, do not say that
Don't
on
say that.
here. No one knows what I look like, you asshole.
But it
Yeah.
doesn't have that scene where it's like, you put me away, Dredd.
Yeah,
Like,
the guy
that's-
tries
yeah.
to kill him. The very
They
next
tried to
scene,
kill him.
right when he outs him, somebody tries to kill him.
I wasn't
Yeah.
paying attention.
So they're about, it's actually kind of interesting. Like, I would have liked to see like just Dredd with all these prisoners. But they
Yeah.
end that real quick because the Angel gang shoots them down
Those
with a
were
rocket.
great. He's got that meter on him.
Yeah.
Cranking him up.
Yeah, I have his name somewhere here. But they were also from the 2008 books. They're different in this. I think in the movie they're cannibals and they're all religious-y. I don't think they are in the books, but I
I
haven't.
think they're just criminals.
I think they're just criminals. They look a lot like the comics, so yeah, this whole thing is pretty interesting. So of course they cut back to Hershey looking at the picture, but who gives a fuck? Here's my question:
The picture was fake.
Are all the dark judges in on the bad guy's plan? Because he tells them to like kill the innocent pilot, and they're like, okay, but then like. So that makes me think like, oh, they're all in on it. But then later on, there's dark judges like clapping
Which
for
pilot
Dredd.
did they kill? The pilot of what?
The pilot of the prison transport, because they're looking for Dredd.
So the Angel City people don't shoot them, or the Angel cult doesn't shoot that thing down?
I guess the Angels shot it down. They took Fergie and
Yeah,
Dredd, and I
off
guess
of
a few
it.
other prisoners. I guess they left that guy.
To eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what the dark judges. What are they? Are they
They're just jerks, I guess.
like internal affairs? What are they? I
Well,
don't know.
me and Tony were trying to figure out if they're more powerful than Dredd in like
Or
the system. I
less.
thought they were like beat cops. They're like stormtroopers.
No, I feel like they're judges for the judges. That's how I
Those
felt.
exist. Internal affairs,
Yeah.
they have them.
So maybe there
Yeah.
are the internal affairs guys.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a bunch of what work and they just don't ask questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they wake up with the Angel gang. Mean Machine is the big one.
Oh, yeah.
The big guy. He's awesome.
Who's got a brain crank?
Yep, and it's kind of fun seeing Fergie.
It's great stuff.
I love that Fergie is trying to be nice to them. He's like, "Oh, you guys are great. I'm sorry, I'm here." He's a jerk, and then like Judge Dredd.
Well,
is like,
he's got
he's
a good
like, "You're all
plan.
criminals, and I hate you." He's like, "I'm not with him." It's like one of the one good moments. You're like, "I'm not with this guy. I don't know who he is."
He wins them over, but he goes, "Y'all praise the Lord, brother." Absolutely. And they're like, "Hey, we got a true believer from the city." He's like,
but then,
"That's
they
right."
want to eat him right away.
Well, that's the thing
Yeah.
is that Dredd's like, "They're gonna eat you, idiot." And he's
and I
like,
love that he goes, "Eat Dredd." He works out.
he works
He
out.
works
yeah.
out. Eat
He's
Dredd.
got a good point. If I had to
That
eat
would be
somebody,
bad, though, isn't it? Like, veal's you keep it in a little box.
Yeah, but look at how stringy Rob Schneider is. I mean, there's some meat on the fucking what's his name's bones. Stallone's
so.
bones.
I don't really know how meat works.
We got Schneidley and Snyder. It's Schneider,
Schneidley.
right? And now I don't know what it is. Now I'm feeling them.
It's Rib Schnidley.
We should
all
just say
know this.
different names every single time.
So he should have gone out and done his like conservative act.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be great?
That would have been really funny.
It's really funny.
Maybe he became all conservative doing this. Doing
I
the
saw
religious
him.
stuff.
I would
open
like
for
to know.
Adam Sandler, and he came out after. God, I forget who's the. He came out after some like super liberal director.
Yeah.
And immediately trashed him.
That's
It's like,
funny.
oh yeah, it must be really hard finding work in Hollywood. It is. ultra progressive liberal.
I get that, but also some of his stuff just kind of sucks.
Rob
Schneider.
Schneidley?
Yeah. Schneidley.
Rib Schnidler is an important part of the Hollywood.
He's a carrot. He was a carrot once.
Rib Schnidler
He's
is
a carrot. So yeah, Dredd breaks out. He fights the whole gang. The judge. This one's part's so complicated. So he kills a bunch of the gang members.
Yeah.
And then the dark judges come in, and he has to kill the dark judges. And then one of the gang.
Yeah, why are they?
Oh, and then Fargo comes in and kills the dark judges.
I think they know. They
And
must
then,
have
and then
known.
the one, Meme
They
Machine.
didn't get very far.
Yeah, and then Meme Machine is still alive, and he stabs Fargo. I'm like,
lot
wow,
of
a lot of
guys
people.
die.
This one cave in a mountain suddenly got a lot of activity. Everyone just all happened
It's
to
like
be
running
around.
over there. Oh no, there he is.
Fargo is looking at the judges. They're like, the Judge Dredd must be in there.
Yeah.
Fargo's death felt kind of unnecessary. I don't
Yeah.
know. It was just kind of
Well,
like,
he needed some motivation. I don't know.
I guess.
But he confesses everything to Dredd.
He tells Dredd that Dredd's a clone.
He's
of
like, you're a clone.
all the council.
It's all the
members
councils,
together.
right? Or he says like my DNA's in there, but it's like all of
Yeah,
them.
it's supposed to just be. I mean, they tweak it.
Well,
Like,
the way I heard it was he's like, well, we went through all the council members, but I think mine was the one we ended up using. Was what they
Yeah.
said in the movie. I don't know if
Yeah.
it was all the council
Maybe
members.
they
or
made
just
like a
his.
new strain of all the council members.
I don't know.
it was
but-
gross the way they described it.
Yeah, it was pretty
You're
good.
getting too much
We
into the
all
specifics of
put
the
our
scene.
we all put our genetics into a pool, and then we just kind of randomly squirted some
Okay.
up
It
and
was
put
like
it in
a
a
race.
lady.
Yeah. Oh, by the
We
way,
used the Batman semen injection gun to
Oh, from Batman Beyond.
Batman Beyond.
I hate
put
that
Batman-
so
I
much.
love that you slept on making that video, so I mentioned it in my review and then I clipped it and uploaded it. I'm like,
Dude,
oh, here's the video on it.
people are talking about it.
People are talking about the semen. Gun
Yeah, I
from-
see people. There's a meme right now
Yep.
of Batman's dad at the doctor. And he goes, "Hey Doc, I just hope there's not a gun that turns my semen into Batman semen. That would be the worst thing in the world. But that definitely doesn't exist,
Oh
right?"
my god, it's so dumb.
Turns Batman into a creep.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
Batman wasn't in on it. Amanda Waller made it.
But he
happen.
wasn't upset.
But he didn't stop it?
The problem
Yeah.
is he wasn't upset about it when he found out. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, this is great.
Hey, we raped that woman with your semen. Oh,
Well, at least there's a new Batman. It's
I
like,
better take him
fuck.
under my
Your
wing.
genetic son. Cool. What do you mean cool? This sucks.
Wait, real quick. The Hershey picture thing. The only thing I want to mention is like they figure out the picture's fake, and they remove the background, but then it shows like the science lab behind
Yeah,
it.
it
It's
looks
like,
terrible.
did they not have green screens in the future?
They don't have time for that shit.
They don't have to put. It
they're
would have
still
been
cops,
easy. It would
you
have been
know?
easier to do it in front of a green screen.
All right, get a picture of this baby sitting on this table.
You
and
couldn't
then
just get
go-
two people to pose with a baby.
No, it had
Were
to be
those people
digitally.
AI?
I guess so. Stock. All
They
the
had like
stock.
6 fingers. He's like, wait a minute. This bitch has 6
Also, why does it
fingers.
even need to be an authentic? Like, can they just get a picture of any baby?
Yeah.
Why would Stallone know?
No,
Oh, that's
when the
definitely
nukes,
me
when
as
the
a
nukes
baby.
went off, it fried all the stock photos.
Did the baby never sleep in a crib, or was it only in science, like all the time? Do we have any pictures of this baby without science? I'm afraid not, sir. It's just
Thank God they left the data with the picture of the science lab in the picture. It's a picture.
Crack me up when they
Why-
put the picture back.
Why?
I think the tech stuff becomes more accurate as we get closer to the future. It's like, oh yeah, okay, all of this makes sense. They put the DNA in the bullets, and it's easy to fake, and nobody thinks it would be. They all think,
Yeah.
well, of course we're putting the DNA in the bullets, and
It's
that's totally
inconceivable
infallible.
that anything else
Yeah,
happened.
nothing
Yeah.
can go wrong.
And-
When has a blood test ever gone wrong, Dick? Can
And
you
s-
name any? Can
yeah.
you name any hair tests that have ever gone wrong and given wrong results?
And instead of just doing like practical
Definitely not.
effects and
Yeah.
staging the baby picture like normal, they're like, I was gonna CG it. We got this Indians who's gonna do it from India City 1. No problem. For Fiverr City 1. We got this guy who's gonna do it for a couple of creds.
Fiverr City is gonna
one
be
is
Like,
pretty
can
good.
you just just put the baby in a crib, take a picture, get a couple people? No, I already did it.
No.
I already got it done. with computers.
They put it in. It's an Indian couple. Like, no, that doesn't
The
make
computers always fuck up. Haven't you guys noticed that? That all these problems we have are because of computers?
By the way, I love when he's telling how sorry he is to Dredd, and this is motivating Dredd. It just so happens in this cave there's a big Lady Justice statue.
Yeah,
just happened to be in there.
Because a lot of other things have crashed there.
I guess so. I guess they were moving a Lady Justice statue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was
So
a
he's
little
staring at it.
convenient
And
now
he's
that I
like,
think about it.
so he learns this whole thing about how the council did this like terrible thing, and they're playing God. And his idea is like, well, I have to kill Rico, and it's like you should probably fuck
Team up with him.
Yeah, you probably should like you maybe stop Rico because he's like
He
if
seems like
something
he's
went wrong.
victimized as well, to be honest.
Honestly, you should be like, hey, Rico, we're not going to go kill everyone. You need help, but you technically are right. The
And
council is fucked.
We are killing them because they're breaking the law.
Yeah.
So let's team up. We both got fucked over.
Yeah.
Let's go fuck them over.
But I like that, like, they just went in two different directions where it's like Dredd was like, I am all about the law. And then, was it Rico decided that everyone would be guilty at some point, which is actually Judge Death's thing where it's like, oh, living people commit crimes. We'll just kill them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so we learned that Rico is they're genetic
Clones,
copies,
yeah.
but that Rico was mutated and it turned him into the perfect
evil.
criminal.
Yeah. It
A
backfired.
mutation. Made him too good at crime.
Yeah, so then they're figuring out now. They're like, oh, yeah, you know what? Griffin might have set this all up. And it's like, yeah, of course it was fucking Griffin.
Yeah.
The guy who's been wanting this program to turn on this whole time.
Why is it called Janus?
Because it's Two-Faced. It's like a mythological thing.
Oh, okay.
Why is it Two-Faced, though? It's like they named it after it.
It's like they
fucked up.
named it after.
Yeah,
they made
it's
two.
pretty convenient that
They
the
kinda
mythical
retroactively
creature
went.
they named it after ended up being like the fuck up. Yeah, it doesn't
That's
really
where they
make
went
sense.
wrong. Should've
We
named it
probably
like
shouldn't have
Clono.
named it in a way that it would then, make two that one's good, one's bad.
Yeah. Was it named that in the comic? In the comic, they give everything like goofy names.
I don't remember.
Like
I don't
Portalo
remember.
5000 and stuff.
I don't remember. I gotta
We
look
shouldn't
at
have
my-
named it Project Good Guy, Bad Guy. That was a bad
Yeah.
idea.
That was a mistake.
Hindsight, shouldn't have called it Project Good Guy, Bad Guy. So yeah, Rico goes to the lab and he meets Joan Chen's character, Hayden.
Who I
The
still
Asian-
don't understand what
The
she
Asian lady
was.
from Twin Peaks who fucking
Yeah.
looks hot as hell in this.
Oh, yeah.
And she was hot as hell in Twin Peaks. But yeah, she's the scientist who's been keeping the lab running. It can't be activated, but she's there to make sure it like still exists.
She's there to make sure the clone thing because Judge Dredd is like 40, right?
Judge Dredd? Did they say
Well,
explicitly?
because now the new clones are like we make the new clones in 8 hours, but you're kind of inferred that the old clones were like
They
born
had to
like
grow-
normal people and had
Yeah.
to grow
Well,
up.
no, I think they said
Because he was
that-
a baby in the lab.
They said it was accelerated, I think.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they've since been able to accelerate it even faster.
Yeah, with new genetics. But I'm saying, so she,
Yeah.
like, for the last 40 years, it's just been like a clone lab where they're like, yeah, we're not allowed to use that, but someone's got to be here to
Yeah.
look at it sometimes.
So put the
That's
hottest. like-
accurate. That's
Yeah,
government.
that's the government.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm saying that Asian lady's probably upset 'cause she's like, I had the perfect job. I got paid to just look at this shit. You guys are going to kickstart it again and actually do stuff here?
Do you think her lab is next to the shrimp treadmill lab? You think?
I
they-
think she might.
Yeah.
That's
Shrimp
like the
treadmill's
other
very
thing that she's
important.
working. And it's all inside the Statue of Liberty for some reason because that's where the lab is. It's inside
Yeah,
the
that
Statue
was
of
You
Liberty.
gotta
confusing.
use it for something.
Yeah. So yeah, they still haven't gotten the council to like buckle. So Rico's going around blowing up shit. And again, this is where he gets like the robot to kill a bunch of judges, and he just looks so.
He's
it's like,
killing
It's like
judges,
seeing
baby.
his son like score like a touchdown. It's like that's my boy. I love him so much.
My boy.
So Dredd has a great idea to get into Mega City 1. He's like, they figured it out. These criminals figured it out. You can run. You have 30 seconds to make it through this tunnel
Oh,
that
the
shoots
video
fire
game.
both
Yeah.
ways for some reason. And he's like, oh, did they survive? He's like, no, they died, but it technically can be done. So that part's kind of fun. But yeah, then he tries
When's
to.
the last time there's been that was a real hot thing to have in movies around then? A video game, but on the movie? Like
Yeah.
The Rock did it.
Yeah.
It's fire and stuff moving around, jumping over sticks.
I think at this point, this was like the first movie I think that had like a game like release at the exact same time I was
yeah.
reading. Yeah, this is when they started like kind of fine tuning like action movies. They're like, we know there's going to be a video game, so we should kind of like.
Have
Have
this
a nice
level.
disc would be a platforming sequence, of course.
Yes. Some games did it well, and others didn't.
Like Lawnmower Man on Super Nintendo, which is an expert representation.
Go back and watch my Lawnmower Man episode. That movie is fucking awesome.
You know what game I always wanted to play based on a movie? What was the Robin Williams movie Toys? Had a video game for some reason.
It did?
Yeah, and he's just like running around a toy factory, like horrible mutant toys
I gotta
are trying
review
to kill
Toys
him.
at some point.
Was it
That one
good?
was a shit show.
I don't know because I never got to play it.
Oh.
It always looked fascinating.
Oh yeah, so Judge Dredd won't apologize to Fergie. He just won't apologize.
Yeah, that's good.
I feel like some people should apologize. Luckily, he's there with Fergie and not Riley, so not apologizing won't hurt him.
Him and Fergie have the most.
Could you imagine Riley instead of Fergie? Apologize to me. We got to run through this incinerator. I'll fucking kill him.
I was gonna say
I want to see that movie. I want to see this exact movie, but with Riley in the yellow cape as Fergie.
Didn't you hack it then? Isn't that
yeah,
your
maybe
thing?
I'll add him into
Aren't
hack
you
it on
supposed to
in
be
there.
hacking these movies?
Yes, that's my
Fergie
job.
does set up again. So this movie doesn't really have a theme, but there is the part where they're on the transport where he goes like, he mimics. What does he say to Stallone? Where he goes, I am the law.
Apparently, that was improvised, and they thought it was
Yeah.
funny. Like we got to leave.
That's
that in.
honestly one of the best lines. Is like making fun of Stallone.
Yeah, maybe
I am
him
the
just
law.
being like fun, like being naturally funny, but like whatever's written for him
Yeah.
is garbage. Oh, Curtis
improv
pizza.
works.
It's like, all right.
But it was when he's like, the law's never wrong. He's like, well, then why are you on this fucking prison transport?
And like Judge Dredd
He's
like starts to like break a little bit, like he's a robot. He's like,
yeah. But they kind of abandoned that, as we say. Like, it never really becomes.
it really
like,
is. This is like, but Rico's breaking the law more, so I got to
Yeah.
focus on him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they make it through. 96 judges have died. The council's finally like, all right, maybe we should apparate that thing.
All right, we need some clone judges.
Yeah.
But what's weird is they're all on board for clone judges, and then the computer goes, and it's only going to take 8 hours to make them. They're like, okay, hold on. Now
That's
now
a
it's-
little too much.
I'm like, wait, the speed at which you were going to make the clones is what upsets
But
you?
it's like, wait a minute, you're not gonna like put them in suits right away. You got to make sure they're not like brain
Yeah, I
dead.
mean, they're
and
not
can
gonna
walk
come out
around.
Just pipe them right out.
Put them in suit with the
Yeah.
gun.
They don't
There you
come
go.
out speaking English or whatever. You got to teach them some stuff.
But we see they don't even have mouths at one point.
Yeah.
I got more facts about the clones when we get to those.
Okay.
So they break into the Hall of Justice. They find a judge.
It's a
that
great
has-
rape joke.
Yes, they find a judge with the same outfit as Dredd. Luckily, same
Yeah.
rank.
Oh yeah. Ugh.
Honestly, if I was Dredd, I would have worn a different outfit because when he puts it on, he looks exactly like Judge Dredd. And people are like, "Wait, Jed, that's you." But yeah, he's undressing him, and Rob Schneider's just like, "Oh, we don't have time.
We
for
don't
this." I'm
have
like,
time for this is almost a pretty good line.
I know
was
it's supposed to
like-
be a gay joke, and I'm like, you do that in the '90s, but I'm just like, why did he think that's fucking stupid?
I mean,
I
I
think
like
he's busting his balls.
I like the idea that he said we don't have time for this, but he's standing there watching. Where he's like, "Well, I gotta watch
Like,
this
obviously,
rape now."
like, oh, it would be okay. What you're doing is okay. It's just we can't do it right now.
He's just making a little joke for himself.
I guess
You
so.
know.
He should have said, "Well, if you're gonna do it, be quick about it."
So yeah, they activate the thing, and then Rico kills the entire council except for Griffin, who says politics is boring. He's enjoying his one-liner. He's just
having a
doing
good
one-liners
time.
for himself. It's great. But yeah, then they frame Dredd. He like shoots himself. Yeah, the Griffin shoots himself with his own gun.
Yeah.
To when
So
the other judge come in, he goes, "Look, I got shot" or whatever.
He's
which
like, "Dredd
seemed
killed
unnecessary."
everyone.
Yeah, I don't think he needed to shoot himself to make that point. Did
So
he?
then they get on the hover bike, which he
Right.
knows doesn't work. So he shouldn't even try to go to it. Instead, he's like, "Well, yeah, this is our only way out."
Got to do it.
And then we see that the other judges are on functioning hover bikes. So somewhere in this building there were hover bikes that worked, and he used the new one that's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And then throughout this whole chase sequence, Dredd is killing way more people than any of the bad guys did together. He's causing so much.
Yeah, but that's what's
explosion.
good though. That's what you
that's
needed.
fun.
That
more
would have
of.
been again. That would be funny if the script
You
was
need
like
Judge Dredd
self-aware.
being
This
like,
movie
"I'm
is
going to
not-
save this city" as he like blows up entire apartment
But
blocks.
this is like
Yeah.
Man of Steel level, like not aware at all. Like this, is like, yeah, isn't he cool? It's like, no, he's kind of killing everyone. And
Yeah.
because like literally,
I don't
like,
know if they're aware of it, but they should have been more obvious that like,
because at one point he's like, oh, I got to save Fergie. And he picks him up. He's like, oh, here you go. Oh, also Fergie like shits himself or something. So yeah, they have this fun, exciting chase. He picks Fergie up, and then the hover bike goes into a building, and then it explodes the entire building. Like, were there like families in there? Who the fuck was in that
Mega
building?
City
Just a
One,
bunch of
man.
creeps in
Yeah,
there.
nothing
Just a
matters.
bunch
There's just
creeps.
a bunch of criminals.
It's just so funny. They're like, yeah, look at that hero. I think he killed more people than the bad guy.
That's the kind of commentary you want. Like, I wish it had leaned more into that. you
Yeah.
know?
Reminds me of Batman 89. He's trying to stop the Joker from causing a chemical attack.
Yeah.
But Batman, before that, blows up the chemical factory. It's like, where do you think all those chemicals are going to blow into, dude? They're going to blow right into Gotham.
You know.
What can you do?
Didn't think about
What
that
can you
before.
do, Tony?
Oh, well, they go to Hershey's house, and she's like all beat to shit. Like her bike almost blew up in front of her, but then her house is like destroyed. People are going around killing.
Well, they're trying to
judges
kill the judges.
specifically,
So
yeah.
they might have blown up her apartment.
But yeah, now Rico's gone mad, and he wants Janus to use his mutated DNA. Because they didn't mention it was mutated. I'm like, well, isn't his DNA just Fargo's DNA? What's the point of changing
Yeah,
it?
but he wanted to use his mutant
He wanted to make sure they
criminal
would
DNA.
all end up like
Yeah.
him. But this is
I mean,
confusing.
you would, wouldn't you? Like if you have the opportunity
I guess
of
so. But
at a cloning factory.
Well, he's saying that like if it was already imprinted with Fargo's DNA, like wouldn't it already make clones of him? But he's like, no, he wants specifically mutated
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rico clones.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a little confusing though, because then like later on he's telling Dredd like, yeah, we'll call them humans and they'll be free thinking. But then to himself he's like, and I'll control all of them. It's like, which one is it, buddy?
Yeah,
which one are you trying
what
to
was
do?
Got a
his
little
plan?
too Bible-y there for me.
It did. I'm like, do you want to make free will with people like you who have the same ideas, or do you want to
Again,
control them? And they
it-
never really land on which one he wants to do.
Right. Well, that again, it's like missing a theme where I'm like, okay, what is the bad guy's ideology? Like, obviously, he wants revenge for getting locked up for being a criminal guy,
Yeah.
and he hates
Yeah.
the council for
Killing people
think
should be
making
his
him right.
MO.
But then, like, so does he want to? Does he want to abolish the judge system, or does he want to control it? I think he wanted to control it.
He wanted to
right?
control it, yeah.
So he just wants to rule.
He should have been a good guy. Like he should have been a well. The democracy people in the comic are terrorists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want
He
to
should have
return
been
to
like, and I'm
democracy.
going to let people vote. And Judge Dredd goes, absolutely
is-
not.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Should
ridiculous.
have been an uprising
You'd
for
say
like,
it.
freedom.
Our leaders
You
should
would
be
say
like whatever judge killed the most people.
I don't think they really knew. I don't think the writers of the script really understood like
Yeah.
what
Judge Dredd
what
is.
they were doing.
Or if they did, people like Stallone who didn't understand it made him change a bunch of stuff.
yeah,
That
it's
happens.
good what we were doing. It's not good what you're doing.
Yeah.
Don't you see?
It's
I'm
like,
going
no,
to
this
set
isn't-
up something I call the Electoral College. You're going down.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Danny Cannon, the director, said he wanted this to be his, what was it? The Ben
Ben-Hur
Hur
of
of
superhero
comic
comic
book
book
movies.
Ben-Hur.
That's not.
Didn't work
that's
out, though.
not what.
Didn't
Dredd
work
is.
out that way. So they figure out that the lab is at the Statue of Liberty, which was moved into the middle of Mega City 1.
And it's dwarfed by the buildings around it. So
Yes. And then
It's
Griffin.
not that big. The
Yeah, I
Statue of
know.
Liberty?
No, well,
Yeah.
we were joking. They made it bigger.
They had
in
to make
this
it bigger
movie.
Made
to
it
make.
bigger?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because like they fight in the head, but normally the head
Have you
has
been?
to be, like,
Have you been to the Statue of
one
Liberty?
guy.
It's
Yeah,
super.
it's
I
not
remember.
big.
I remember when I was a kid. I got to go to the Statue of Liberty like after X-Men came out, and like I went into the head. I'm like, oh, they all couldn't have fit in here. This
Yeah.
bullshit. I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to think that X-Men movie wasn't
Could
realistic.
all the Ghostbusters fit in the head? Because don't they pilot it in
yeah,
the
but
second
they're all
one?
like
They're
hanging
cramped.
out the windows.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that was realistic.
You can size it by the NES Advantage controller that
Yeah.
they're
Right, that
using.
they use.
Well, famously, what'd you call it? Cloverfield, when the trailer came out and the Statue of Liberty's head falls.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, that looks fake, that looks stupid, but it actually was the right
was the
size.
right
But
size.
the trailer got so many complaints, so when the movie came out, they made it unrealistically big to fit expectations.
We got to make a bigger Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
I'm
We really
thinking.
do. We really do.
Can't we
Like
just
a
put a
big
bigger one
one.
around the other one? And then
guys,
you
I-
get, like a nesting doll?
Guys,
this
I don't
one
know
in
if
the
I don't know
head.
if you ever noticed this, but the Statue of Liberty is wearing chains. Think about it.
Wait, what? Really?
No, that was the thing liberals were trying to promote. They're like, she's wearing chains. Think about it. And there was like, yeah, the chains are broken. You're showing the angle where it doesn't show that the chains are broken.
Oh, I didn't know she's wearing chains.
Yeah, she has
She
chains on her
broke the
feet, but it's
chains
like
'cause
she
it's
broke
liberty.
out. Yeah,
Liberty.
That's a
you
bit
know.
cringe, I
but
think.
idiots are
It's not
posting.
cringe. It's the Statue of Liberty, the concept of
But
liberty.
people are
It's
posting
on the
like the
nose,
one angle.
though, isn't it? Like it's like a political
It
cartoon.
has to be on the nose. It's the statue. It's called the Statue of Liberty.
So I got it. Who's it being liberated from?
Anyway,
I don't know.
anyway,
The patriarchy?
She's liberated from the patriarchy. That's
I
correct.
guess kind of. We all were.
We all were.
yeah.
See, that would have been like a psychotic democracy guy.
Yeah.
Because you can, like, the way you write it, you could make it sound.
You make it sound absolutely crazy.
totally. It is crazy, right?
You want all these junkies and psychopaths deciding who's in charge?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah, freedom for all. That would have been really funny.
Yeah.
The terrorists you reminded me of are the Dennis Leary gang from Demolition Man.
Yeah.
Who lived
Yeah.
underground. They're like, no, we
Yeah.
kind of want to have options and stuff and eat unhealthy if we want to.
Where he does that, like, improvised
Oh,
rant that's
he
just
just
not
does his
quite there.
He does his stand up bit, but he didn't write it. It's someone
Yeah.
clearly trying to write his level of stand up.
Yeah, like, ah, man, come on.
Yeah.
Give him another shot.
Yeah.
Dub it over so his mouth's moving.
So yeah, Griffin finds out what Rico's doing. And then, okay, yeah, so we're so confused by Joe Chen. So she's in with Griffin's plan. And then Rico's like, why are you working with Griffin? And she never answers. And then Rico's
I
like,
think she was just bored.
and then Rico's just like, I'm going to kill you, Griffin. He's like, yeah, we threw out the old samples. We're using mine. Griffin's like, no. And then he tells the robot to rip his arms and legs off and save his head for last. Which my old show, Mummy Cop, I cast my dad as a mobster and I made him do that line. I made him do that whole line.
Good line.
This movie had a big
Did
influence
you show
on
him
me.
the influence where that line's from?
I did, actually.
You
I
did?
pulled it up. I'm like, this is what you got to do. He didn't nail it. Turns out my dad's not a good actor. That's why he was used very sparingly. So yeah, then Joe Jen's just all in on Rico. And now, and by the way, she becomes Rico's girlfriend. She's suddenly showing cleavage. She's like, well, I'm the bad guy.
That's how Asian women are.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Well,
biggest
she also
alpha.
goes from being like she's like a scientist, right?
Yeah.
But then she's fighting Hershey, and I'm like, well, why would she know how to fight at all? Just
Because
because
women,
I told him he was struggling with this. It's like because they didn't want to do the girlfriend's kidnap storyline, so you have to do the girlfriend is fighting the bad guy's girlfriend.
Yeah,
while
that's
the good
cool.
guys.
But
Which
she
I
knock
used- which again, I used
her
in
out
my-
immediately and be like, I'm a trained
I used that.
judge.
I used that storyline in my senior thesis where the two guys are fighting the two girlfriends are fighting specifically because of this movie. I'm
Senior
like,
thesis of what? Loser school?
yes, loser school. Yes, it was loser school.
Sir, you've graduated with flying
One
colors.
back, I had
For your
a
dissertation on Judge Dredd.
I had a very feminist professor who hated my stuff,
Yeah.
and she was focused on all the girls' projects. But like at the end of the senior thesis,
What were their
program-
projects? Like,
about how it's sad to be a woman. But by the end of like the senior thesis, I was like one of like 3 people who actually finished their like project. All
Oh,
the other
yeah.
ones were
I bet.
incompleted, and that girl to be like, the professor to be like, "Congratulations on your movie." I'm like, "You didn't
Animal
like
House!
it." I'm like, yeah. You want to
What was
movie
the
on
movie
double
you
C?
made?
Getting on the slide. So
Where you get on a slide?
no, I'm not in it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is
I'm
it
not
a
in
full length or like a
No,
short
it's a short.
thing?
It's a short. It's a comedy.
Is it literal?
It's a coming of age comedy. No, it's about getting over your fear. It's a whole thing.
Oh, all
Getting
right.
on the slide?
Is it about children? Did you film children?
I think there's a kid in it, but
Does the kid like get on a slide and slide down and an adult pops off? That's a good movie.
That's not a good
There is a
argument
scene
for a
where that
judge where he goes, did you film child pornography? There's a kid in it.
Time to go down the slide. I hope my wiener gets big. And then he goes,
he was.
"Wee!" And
It was
goes,
about a guy who was
"Wee!"
afraid. He was afraid of taking risks because when he was a kid, he was scared to get on the
scared of the
sliding
slide.
board, and then he got on it and he fell off and broke every bone in his body. So
Oh,
now
no.
he has to challenge the school bully to a race, but he's afraid of taking chances, so he has to get back on the slide and conquer his fear.
Did you call it a sliding board?
Yeah, sliding board.
What's a sliding
What's a
board?
sliding board?
I don't know. That's just what
Like
I
a cheese
called it.
board that you
Yeah, I
slide
guess
on?
so. I don't know.
Is it a slide? Like a plastic slide?
It was a metal one.
So what is
Okay,
the board?
what's the board?
I don't know. I guess I've always been saying sliding board, and no one's ever
A
corrected.
slide board?
Sliding board.
You
And I'm
call a
realizing
slide
now
a
no one has
sliding
ever.
board?
I've never been corrected on it.
It's a slide.
Now I have to go home and be like, "Hey, do we all say slide?" I say slide, but then sometimes I say sliding board. and I
Sometimes you just spice
You
it up
see
with
a
sliding
slide
board?
and you say, let me go down the sliding board?
You called it sliding boards and ladders? Let's play some
This is-
sliding boards and hop up sticks.
this is blowing my mind.
What
I'm
is the board part of it?
I
There's
don't
no
know.
board
Now
at all.
I'm questioning everything about my life. Like, how long have I been saying this?
What kind of slides do you have in your
Do
neighborhood?
other people say this?
Yeah, see, I was like thinking like you have some sort of special regional slide that has like a board involved with
Hardee's.
it. And you're like, no, it's a slide.
Am I thinking like in my young brain? I was like, well, that's a diving board, and that's a sliding board.
What's
Oh,
a sliding-
no.
Can you describe what a sliding board looks like? Is it like a plank? Like walking the
A
plank?
diving board's called a diving board because it's a literal board off of which you dive.
I'm having like a crisis right now.
You
Like, how
should
long
be.
have I been
This
saying
is
this?
horrifying.
Oh, this is when people pointed out to me that words that end in AW I add L's to, and it's ruined my life.
Oh
Like
my
what?
god. Yeah, like what words?
Oh, you like those spooky horror movies, the Saw movies?
Saw movie.
You ever see
yeah,
that
Saw.
shark in the Jaws,
Jaws?
movies? I get ripped apart for that. And now
How do you
sliding.
say, oh, hell no? All hell.
Oh, heck
hell
not.
All hell no.
So this will be the new one. Thanks. I'm gonna get sliding
Well,
board.
Dick,
for
you're
the
going to be a
rest of my
father. You're going to get your kid a nice sliding board from
I'm
the
gonna
backyard.
to say all fucking.
So
all
anyway,
fucked up stuff.
back to Judge Dredd. We're gonna pretend
What
that
else do you
never
say?
happened. That
You
never
made a
happened.
movie about a slide. That's the worst part. Like, it would be one thing if you said it wrong sometimes, but you made a whole movie about
What
a
was the
slide.
title of the movie?
Getting on the slide.
And it
wasn't
wasn't
called
getting on the
Getting on the
sliding
Slide
board
Wasn't getting
ever?
on the sliding board.
But you thought there was an alternate term that, like,
You shot
You
that
call
whole
it
movie.
slide for short. You call it slide for short.
You call it
thought
slide at
was
all,
a
period.
shortening of sliding board.
You didn't refer to it that at all, shooting that whole movie? Sliding
At any
board?
point, did you tell your actor, okay, get on the sliding board?
Dude, this is 2011. I don't remember. Maybe I
Okay.
did.
And they didn't correct you?
No.
Wow. They thought
That's
it
the
was
thing.
funny.
I'm wondering if it's like a
Thought it was
thing
Kung
we
Fu
say
Ron.
over there, and it's not weird to anyone
He's
else.
from the East Coast.
Dude,
Where are you from?
I've never heard slide. I mean, if it's called a sliding board, I don't.
In Philadelphia, in Philly. It's
Right.
only in Philly.
Well,
is it
once
called
he
a
said,
sliding
like
board.
a diving board, that's when I went, he's insane, because that doesn't work at all. Like a diving board, I get it.
I like the defense of it's metal.
So,
Oh, it's metal.
so anyway, they go to the lab, and the robot.
The lab board.
Yeah.
go to the laboratory.
When you got on the
board.
swings, did you get, let me get on these swinging boards? Like
That's more accurate.
yeah, that would actually
They're
make
planks.
more sense.
I fucking hate you guys so much. Anyway,
Did you take your shoe boards off when you came into my house? What
can I
the
read?
hell
Can I
are you
read my?
talking
Can I read
about?
my notes on this paper board
guess.
right here?
I feel like this
please?
is completely unnecessary now.
So anyway,
but
This is like bizarre.
I know. you're almost.
guys, we don't have a lot left of this movie.
I know, but you're like you're in your 30s. You still think, how did you never figured this out? All right, go.
I can't believe I gotta.
You
I'm,
gotta really question-
I'm calling my sister after
Yeah, I
this,
wanna
and I'm gonna
know
be
what
like,
other-
"Hey, do we say sliding board, or is that something I just?" said? So anyway, the robot comes out while it's somehow able to sneak around in the dark and not make any sound.
Sneak, look, they're illegal for a reason. They're very, very sneaky.
It
okay?
has a stealth mode, I guess.
It's got all
ABC,
magnetic.
always be creeping. Gets up behind you.
Now
All
I
this
need
stuff
I
is-
need to get an artist to draw you as the ABC warrior. always
Be creeping, baby.
All those sounds are fake to make you think that he's always making sounds.
Oh,
and then he
that's
shuts him
clever.
off and does silent mode.
So yeah, they shoot the hell out of Fergie. They grab Hershey, and then they have like the big meeting between Rico and Dredd where they're like criticizing each other. Rico's making a lot of good points.
Yeah.
Almost entirely good point.
Yes. And like Dredd just won't budge.
Kind of seems like the system they have sucks.
Yeah, he's like Dredd still is like, you betrayed the law. We get the great law.
You betrayed the law!
Yeah.
He's like, what about the law? Blah, 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 blah. But even Rico's like, come on, man. I really want you to join me on this. I know you've been brainwashed. You're not free like me.
Yeah.
But we should, let's have all our brothers and sisters wake up. He says, he's like, I'm going to be a father to like a bunch of babies.
Bunch of weird,
Bunch of
mutant
weird
babies.
clones.
That's what like Dave Rubin's thinking of that scene when they were buying babies from the Ukraine. Yeah, they're just seeing those two muscle-bound hunks. Like,
Yeah, that's-
having
they-
a
Someday.
homoerotic shouting
Someday.
The
match,
baby's
and
in a
he's
tube.
like,
I love the clone opens up his eyes like at that moment.
It was a cool looking clone. I always like when a guy
Yeah.
has no mouth.
So,
It's creepy.
The clones are one of the things that got cut out. So there's like this
Are
whole
you sure about this? Like this is confirmed?
Yeah, so apparently because we see
they're
like,
gonna be walking around.
you see at one moment, like, so they wake up and he goes hatch the clones when they start fighting because
Yeah.
Fergie,
One of them like reaches his arm out of the little
yeah,
like.
Fergie's able to get enough life to dismantle the robot, and then Fergie legit dies. I know they changed their mind afterwards, but he is legit supposed to die there. But yeah, we see that he hatches them early and they start to come out, and then the scene like cuts abruptly.
Yeah.
Apparently, Dredd did go around like shooting them, and they were turning into goo and stuff. So the
It's a
theory,
bit much.
the theory I read, it was either cut for time, but that feels weird because why would you even leave the setup for it?
Yeah.
Or they did do like a bunch of blood and guts, and at that time they were like, "Nah, that's too much." Now again, it would be PG-13. You just say it's like
that does
slime.
feel like man, I would like to see some mutant clones explode.
It's
so-
weird that all this setup is in for it
Yeah.
and it's cut out. If he had just never said not wake up the clones or everything, you wouldn't have waited for them. But the
Right.
fact that they set it up and we see the clone get out of the pod and then they do nothing, it's
Oh
like,
yeah.
And then immediately like the lab starts like blowing up and shit while they're fighting.
It'd be a little weird shooting clones
Hey,
one
just gonna
after
do it
the
quick.
other.
No.
Be weird to see.
Yeah, it's weird that he's executing
Kinda like
them
a-
in the
a
pod. That
baby.
might be a problem. He's executing. If they're
Okay,
fighting
but
him, it's
again,
one
it's
thing.
another missed opportunity to have them come out and go. You just go.
Yeah.
It should be like the alien in Alien Resurrection,
Yeah.
the big giant baby alien.
Yeah, it should be all.
that
should
the
be all
new Alien
cute.
movie ripped off and just did that ending
That was
again.
weird.
I'm sitting in the theater. I'm like, that's the Alien Resurrection already did this ending. Why are we doing this again? This is stupid. But I got a full review on that. Don't worry about that. So yeah, instead of seeing cool clones being all weird, we get just focus on the girls and guys fighting.
And then Venture Brothers did it.
I never
The
watched
clones. You never watched that show?
Nah, never got around to it.
Seems like
I
that
missed-
would be one for you.
I
'cause
missed
it's all
out on-
references to movies. And
I missed
stuff.
out on all the Adult Swim stuff. Like I just wasn't watching it.
Were you on
should
like a Mormon
actually watch
retreat or
it.
something?
Yes, I was on a
You should
Mormon
watch
retreat.
Venture Brothers. You
Were
would
you
enjoy
too good
it.
for it? do you
Yeah, I
think?
just never got around to it. I was watching other shit. I
Too
guess.
busy playing on the sliding board.
Yes, I was on my sliding board. But anyway, Fergie. Here's why I think Fergie is legit dead in the original cut. Because the lab is exploding. We see multiple people just run past his body and make no attempt to save him from the explosion. Like, Rob Schneider's just there, fires all around him, and Judge Dredd doesn't even look down. He just bolts right past him. Hershey bolts right past
that
him.
weird way he runs.
Yeah.
I don't think you could have killed him. You can't just like suddenly kill him though without like, you know.
Well, that was
there would
supposed
have
to
had
be
to be
his
an alternate cut that like he gets some sort
Well,
of
there was
real
probably like a
death.
beat where someone acknowledged that he died, but then
He
they
probably
clearly
maybe got
changed
killed
it in
by the
post.
clones or something. That would have worked.
No, he's just laying there dead. He was supposed to die after killing the robot, and then he just lays there. So yeah, they fight in the head of the Statue of Liberty, so they beat X-Men and Spider-Man to the
Nice.
punch for that. And then we get the whole court's adjourned, and he throws Rico off the Statue of Liberty. But again, Rico really wasn't the bad
No, he
guy. I
wasn't.
guess it's one of those, like, his plan wasn't the best, but he had the right idea.
Yeah. Well, that's the problem.
That's how I felt about the Black Panther villain, the first Black Panther movie. It's like, yeah, the right idea, but your plan sucked.
Is he the one that just wanted this stuff for himself?
He said white people took this from my people, so I'm taking it back.
He's like, I'm gonna give everyone weapons around the world. It's like, yeah,
Oh,
that'll
yeah.
work. It's like that'll work against humans, but like the Hulk will stop it. Like, did you forget the Avengers live in this universe? Like, your plan's gonna be done in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's a different movie. They kill Joan Chen for some reason. Even though Rico's dead, she's like still all
She's
about
still
his
going
plan.
for it,
She
yeah.
should be running away. She's like, well, the lab's broken and my boyfriend boss is dead. I should just leave.
Her
just, like,
commitment was a
evil.
little over
Yeah,
the top.
I guess she just
Once she
really liked-
unzipped her
was she
top.
a clone that we didn't know about? That would have been interesting. So yeah, then all the judges are there. They say that like, hey, we looked at the security footage and we realized Griffin's a bad guy. So everyone's just clapping
Yay.
for Dredd. And then this is where they clearly did reshoots because it cuts to Rob Schneider in like close-ups on a stretcher. Like being like, I'm still alive, yeah, Dredd. But he's in none of the wide shots, so he clearly just
He's not
died.
there,
and I
yeah.
love that if you imagine he did die, like Dredd just had no reaction.
Dredd just
to his
doesn't
death.
care.
He's like, at least I don't have to apologize to him now. I bet you know what? If he did die, I bet you there was gonna be scene. He was like, I'm sorry. That's what they were building up to. But they cut it all out.
Oh, the apology.
But this part was cracking me up because Dredd's. They offer him the job of Chief Justice,
Yeah.
which he probably should take and reform some of this shit. Instead,
Nah,
he's like,
he's not a reformer.
yeah, he's like, I'm a street
I'm a
cop.
street
Yeah.
judge.
He really should be. Like, by the way, you should probably make Hershey the Chief Justice. She just figured
That
out
would've
this
been
whole
good,
plan.
yes.
I think they
Smart,
did. Yeah.
I assume they did. But yeah, he gets on his bike, and this part was cracking me up because Hershey's like, Dredd, no goodbye? And we were like, well, he's not really going. He's just working.
Well, you should say goodbye when you leave the scene, you know?
The way they're filming it, it makes it seem like he's gonna go on an adventure. I'm like,
goodbye.
no, you all work at the same place. You'll see him like later that day.
I
It's
will
like,
literally locker
see you in an
again.
hour.
yeah,
I will literally
no
see you in an
goodbye,
hour.
Dredd. It's like, yeah, he'll be back. Like, what the fuck? He literally just drives 10 feet away and just looks off
Yeah,
at
and
the
then he
sunset.
doesn't even go that far. It's not like it's kind of a really anticlimactic ending where it's just kind of like,
But then the music kicks in, like,
Yeah.
he goes over the top.
You
And it's
think he
just,
could have had him riding the motorcycle like for a while instead of just literally drives up the street and he goes, "Yep, that's good."
where he just
He
sees
doesn't
the,
arrest anybody either.
No, yeah, he should have just
should've
like
just
driven
stopped.
off and just like started beating up criminals again.
end it like the Mortal Kombat movie where like Shao Kahn shows up at the end, but Judge Death shows up
Oh
at the
hell
end.
yeah!
They're always teasing us with
You
that
weak,
Judge Dredd
pathetic
thing.
judges. I'm the real judge. Judge Death is pretty cool. It is pretty cool. You can't start with Judge Death, though. I think that's a little too big. Rico was a good one to
Look,
start
you're gonna
with.
have to because you're never getting a sequel. to
Now you
Dredd.
would have to
that's
do
the,
that.
That's the deal.
Now
you
you
get
would
a
have- if
sequel
you-
to Spider-Man and stuff, but you never get a Dredd sequel. So
If you
start with
if you
Death.
get another shot to do Dredd, just do Death. Just do Death. Skip the origin. I like that the last one skipped any origin shit. It's like, this
Yeah.
is Dredd. This is a day in a life.
We need like Woody Allen's James Bond to come in and like do a twist on it and just doing like a straight up comedy.
I should watch that Woody Allen James Bond. The
haven't
original
watched it.
Casino Royale.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a shit show. Is that the one where like who's the guy who did Citizen Kane? Orson
Orson
Welles.
Welles?
He like hated one of the actors, so they had to shoot all their scenes separately and stitch them together.
I didn't know that.
Which has been done in other movies. I reviewed Island of Dr. Moreau with Marlon Brando on another channel, and him and Val Kilmer like hated each other, and they had to do. They wouldn't leave their trailer until the other one apologized, and none of them would apologize. It was
my
a whole
God.
shit show.
That's
it was a whole
cool.
shit show. But yeah, Judge Dredd. Look, not a great movie. It kind of misses the point of the comics, but I have fun watching it and making fun of it.
It could
It's
be
a
way
great
worse.
movie.
What are you
It
talking
could be
about?
way worse.
It could be way worse. It's really not.
It's a
It is
great
not
action
a
movie.
great
It is
action
great.
movie.
It is a
Well,
fun
some of the
action
action's
movie.
fun, yeah.
Yeah, I have fun with it. I
Good
have fun with it.
one-liners.
Yeah.
You
It is a
know?
relic. It really is a
It's
fun moment.
no
of,
Demolition Man.
it's
I
not
have
as
to
good as
say.
Demolition Man.
I think it was
That's
the
the
end of that.
problem.
It was
However,
like one
I would-
after that movie.
I would have
Demolition Man was a
loved-
peak.
I would have loved a buddy cop movie or like some kind of buddy movie with Wesley Snipes and Armando Sante. That'd be fucking awesome. But yeah, it's just a fun movie. It's fun to make fun of. The characters are hilarious. Armando Sante's great. The robot's cool. The effects are great. The
You got
effects hold up
prime
really
time Rib Schnitter at his
well. Rib
peak,
Schnitter is the best.
killing it. Roke Schnoger is
Do you
just
like it more than
knocking it out of the
2012?
park.
I don't know.
I would much rather watch the 2012 one. Yeah,
I've seen that one a lot.
It depends on the mood. It depends on the mood.
I
Yeah.
can't imagine if somebody said like, "Hey, you want to watch Judge Dredd 95?"
I find myself
again?
thinking about the Stallone one more than the Carl Urban one, even though I
There's, like,
enjoyed
yeah.
it more.
Yeah.
The Urban one I enjoyed more, but it's really, what am I enjoying here? Is this, it's not the, I don't like that he took down a drug,
Hey, that-
Yeah,
manufacturer.
life kind
That's
of
the-
sucks. Let the guys have the slow motion
that's the
drug.
worst. That drug sounded awesome.
Yeah, did they ever tell us what the negative repercussions were? Is
Your
it any?
teeth,
I
I
think
guess,
you
get all
rot out
messed
because
up.
you like don't you lose sense of time or something? I can't remember.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can't get
no.
anything done.
Oh
'cause
no!
you
In this
lose sense of
nightmare
time.
environment you're in.
Yeah.
Drugs are not allowed, Tony.
I like both of them. I like the visual style of this one. It looks a little bit more like the comics,
Yeah.
but I think I like the story more in Dredd 2012. He needed the big giant eagle. I need to see that big eagle.
Yeah, it's cool. Now they got.
I don't think
the
either of them
comedy
nailed
one.
it though, because you're right. Like the thing about Judge Dredd appeals to me is like the commentary on like you know the.
I need to see the fatties.
satire.
Yeah.
man.
I need
It's like
the-
They had-
satire.
there was
Trailer
one-
needs to
there was-
open up with a 900-pound woman
We
with
need
a
to see more.
tricycle on her
The
gut.
guy in 2012 was not fat enough. They needed a fatter fatty. There's like one fatty.
Where?
In the beginning, when they drive into that little mall and they're shooting people, there is
Yeah.
like a fatty who's like knocked over and stuff.
Oh yeah, it seemed like it just kind of seemed like Mexico in the Carl Urban one.
It was. It was
Fat
where was
Mexicans
it? It was
around.
South Africa. I think they shot it in.
Oh,
shot,
did
They
they?
shot in South Africa. Yeah,
That's kind of Mexico.
It's basically Mexico. It's the same thing.
And I want to see aliens, and
Yeah.
time jumping, and
They gotta
all
get-
kinds of
You're not
crazy.
kidding.
I was kind of
stuff.
bummed because they really wanted to do the Mega City 1 show, and Carl Urban was gonna. He said he would show up from time to time as Dredd.
Yeah,
But you could have done like all the wacky stuff in that. That would have been
But
fun.
would it be wacky? Like it needs to be Rick and Morty with RoboCop. Like that's the Dredd I want to see.
Yes. I want the action from 2012, but with all the ridiculous stuff and
Mm-hmm.
satire from that.
Yeah, nuclear bombs and stuff.
Yeah, I would say check out the Indian guy who produced Dredd. Also did those weird fan films. Remember he did the gritty Power Rangers. He was doing all that
I
shit.
think I did see that.
He did there was like a short animated Dredd cartoon. It was really cool. It's like
Oh, it
hyper
was?
violent and stuff. Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I would like to have seen that.
Well, maybe
more
we
of
need
that.
more animation in the world. I mean,
An animated Judge Dredd
Netflix
would be
is making
cool.
all these cartoons. They should make more Dredd cartoons.
All the
and shit.
Castlevania ones. You see that?
I watched
tried
season 1.
watching
I
it.
didn't. I wasn't a Castlevania guy, so I'm like, I don't get any.
It
of
doesn't
this, and
matter.
I
It doesn't
don't
even
care.
relate to the games like barely at all.
Yeah, but then he also produced that actually, same producer.
Oh, did he?
But
First
yeah,
one was
that
cool, but the new Nocturne one is like, oh, it's just ladies. It's a lady bad guy and a lady main guy. Like,
no.
Well, I got to get caught up on Invincible, which I want to see the new episodes of that. It looks good.
is that out? The new
Yeah,
one?
Yes,
first 3
but-
episodes of the new season are out.
At the time of this
At
recording.
the time of this recording, the whole season might be done.
Oh, what
knows?
time? When is this coming out?
It comes out June. I wanted to film it early.
And that new Mike Judge animated program just had its first episode come out when
And I'm
when this
sure
was
it's already been
recorded.
greenlit for 5. We should make more predictions. What's going to happen in June? That show got greenlit for 5 seasons, I think.
Wait, really? Oh, that's your
That's my
assumption.
prediction.
I think we're gonna get more sliding board movies. Is what I'm hoping for. I'm very
Hold on,
excited
hold
to
on.
learn
I gotta
about
Google.
that.
I gotta Google sliding
I
board.
think is your
Is
is
this
your
like some
weight
old
loss gonna
timey
be distracting?
1910s like circus term that your family's been holding on to? What is this?
Like,
the
now I
sliding
assume
board.
it's June.
Wait,
You'll have
hold on,
lost 50
hold on.
pounds, right, Tony?
Yeah, obviously.
This would be no problem.
Is it called, people have asked, is it called slide or sliding board? In Australia, the playground slide is known as a slide, slippery slide, or slipper slide, slippery dip. What the fuck? I don't care about Australia.
Slippery dip.
Yeah.
Hey, kids, get on my slippery dip.
Yeah, hey, Tony was outside playing on the slippery dip, guys. Don't worry.
Oh, you looking up on Google?
There is something called a sliding board, but it's also known as a transfer board. It's for sliding under things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
The
sliding
mechanic.
board.
Wait.
Try looking it up
Holy
on-
shit. No, we figured it out.
Okay.
Okay. No, this is funny. Whereas sliding board is used in the Philadelphia area
It really is.
and
just
other
Philly. I was
parts
right.
of the Mid-Atlantic.
horrible.
This is just another stupid Philly thing we do, and I had no idea.
What's wrong with you guys?
It doesn't make any
I
sense.
don't know.
There's no board involved at all.
Why do I don't
It's
say
because in Philly they didn't know it's just a straight board.
Yeah.
They were just sliding down 2x4s.
real quick.
they
When
stacked.
you get ice cream and you sprinkle that stuff on them, what do you call it?
Sprinkles.
Yeah, in Philly they call it Jimmy's.
Well, Jimmy's.
I've heard
Jimmy's
Jimmy's.
can be a term.
Yeah.
I think New
Like
England you might
condoms.
get to
Real funny.
Jimmy's.
What other fucking stupid shit am I saying now? I gotta look up
We're gonna find
stupid
out.
Philadelphia shit that's gonna make me look bad to everyone else, and I gotta change my whole vocabulary. God damn
Well,
it!
don't say sliding board to anyone ever again, because that's not.
Or just stick with
acceptable.
it. Don't mix it up like you're doing.
So anyway, this was great. This is great. My life has once again been ruined by you two. I now have to question everything about me.
You've
Where
never
can-
heard it on TV though. I've never in my life heard sliding board on TV.
Maybe that's why back then I'll call it. I was like, oh, I'll call it getting on the slide instead of sliding board.
Yeah.
Maybe I subconsciously
You
was
thought
like, I think I'm
everyone
saying
was
something
shortening
stupid.
it.
I thought everyone was.
You thought everyone knew it as
Well,
a
look, at least I'm
sliding
not like the
board.
Australians calling it a slippery dip.
Yeah,
That's
a
fucking
little
stupid.
much.
Wow.
That's worse.
At least say I'll use it.
Where can we find you, Dick? Where can we find you?
Patreon.com/The Dick Show. Dick.show.
And where can we find you?
Patreon.com/biggest problem and YouTube.com/biggest problem. Tony was on episode 275 and it was a great episode.
Yes, I was on another episode. Was that episode great, Vito?
No, you fucked that one up.
I
That was your fault.
Last night's?
No,
No, that was the good one.
Oh, the one
other
was
one
just
from
you
August.
guys when I was on vacation.
Yeah, whatever.
I just remember being backstage at Dabblecon, and Carl's like, "Hey, I just want you to know, cringe of the week, we're doing your and Vito's episode." I'm like, "Motherfucker!"
It was great.
But it was funny. If you watch that whole breakdown, I'm like, "Oh, I don't get shit the entire time." If anything, they feel bad for me.
I think everyone felt bad for you.
Oh, whatever.
You left me to take over the show for like 2 minutes. I'm like, "This is not my show."
At least we did a show.
Why'd you leave?
'Cause he spilled something.
Oh, I
He
spilled something on the
spilled
ground.
something all
And it spilled soda on the keyboard or
What a
something.
fucking disaster.
Anyway,
Whatever.
Hey,
that's-
welcome to the show. Whoa! Like a Mr.
That's
McGill.
better than no show.
That's it from us. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let us know which Dredd you like more. And check out some Judge Dredd comics. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Check out the fatties.
Yeah.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out our other videos and Patreon page.